Yes, 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 yes. What is up, beautiful people? Welcome to How to Trade, formerly known as That Midday Show. That right there is your girl Adara, and I am Sharif. And we already have some people already with us in the chat. Welcome, everybody. Kevin Mendoza, Chucky, and Mahat. I'm so sorry I butchered your name. Darwin, Matthew Booth, Market Sniper, Chase, Bands as well. We got Pitchbull. We got Displaying Ways. I do like that name. Miss A, what's up, Miss A? We got Fiddleback. We got Mad Marat, Sebastian, Day Trader Cut, Ken Wicken, Sofa Monster, I see you, sir. Bristol, hey Davis, Cass M, 1320, Woof. Ooh, hey Davis there as well, Monty G, Derek, Denise, Jose Gonzalez, Jesse Vale, Solo, Cristo, Jared, or Jarhead Trader. I read that completely wrong. Welcome, Adara.
Good morning. How are you today?
I cannot complain. I can, but I won't. We'll talk about some of these trades. Guys, before I continue, I am sorry. Yet another day in the simulator backend has not allowed me to trade as of yet. And I really don't know what to tell you guys anymore. So yeah, there it is. When it's active, it's going to be active. Anyway, long on Robinhood at this moment, looking for that 23 touch. So far, we've got top wick 22.93. Got the next beak wetter at the high of day, which is 22.95. In case you're just joining and don't know what is going on with Robinhood, they are picking up a company to the tune of 200 million, looking to expand their crypto offerings as retail investment really picks up in that space. Of course, with this year, crypto having gone up umpteen amount of percent. So Robinhood looking to cash on that and take on the likes of Binance and Coinbase. So we'll keep tabs on that bad boy. And I'm listening to myself talk in my ear, Adara, as I've got the stream in my ear, and that's no good, right? So in FRGT as well, small cap gapper du jour up a light 116%, having done 161 million shares on the day. Here are the deets. $7 million market cap, just shy of that by about just a bit. The float, 5 million shares, so you can keep an idea of what kind of volatility we could get on this bad boy. And then we can go to the screen, just FRGT for everybody. It's negligible short float, so just about a quarter of that 500 milli or so float is short, so not much to talk about there. Note. So a couple of ideas here with FRGT. I just want to give that real quick. I was unsure as to which of the levels this was going to respect. And by levels, I'm talking about moving at technical levels. So I've added half the position that I normally would at the WAP over here. Now, I like the fact that VWAP is right at this level because this is the consolidation area top. That $1.33, $1.25, that general area. So if we held up at this area, I didn't want it to go without me. So I got in half the position here, and I've got another half position at that $1.20 at the 50 exponential on the 5. Reason being, look at this trough over here. Absolute respect with the 50. The argument could be, though, obviously it was at the $1 area, so it was using the 1 in any event, looking to defend the VWAP and the 50-period exponential on the 5. We've got a whole bunch of different small cap gappers that we can get to on the day, but we'll get to those a little bit later. So I'm in Robinhood, I'm in FRGT, and I'm possibly looking at Meta here. Now, I just want to give you the idea of why I'm looking at Meta. This is kind of like a resistance flipped short kind of idea. So we knew we had resistance in and around that area right at the open. It took us till about 10 o'clock before we could break above that area. Lo and behold, we come right down to it and we're holding up again. I didn't expect us to hold up at this area over here, so I had my resting order, excuse me, at 496 to jive with the 50 on the 5. We'll see if we get that coming in. So yeah, thank you about that. So we'll keep eyes at 496 to see if we get triggered at that level. We shall wait and see. Adair.
Yeah, so this Microsoft, this looks like a flat bottom break to me. I was also looking at Meta, but then I saw Microsoft and I said, you know, as I said, I have a little document I call tickers to watch for. And it's just me writing, or tickers to look at, sorry, it's just me writing some tickers I like, levels I like, whatever each day. But then I also have some little quotes to myself, because apparently I'm like, you know, it's my version of this, you know, it's just some quotes. And one thing I wrote that I think is, I just want to read out here. because it's something I'm trying to do, is commit to ideas you feel good about and don't worry about ideas that you don't feel good about. It could be a great setup of potentially an awesome trade, but there's no point if you don't have the confidence in it, or if it's not a trade you're willing to take or willing to nurture. Cough, cough, Meta on Wednesday, cough, cough. Which I actually wrote in the note there. So that's what I'm looking at here. I like this Microsoft flat bottom break. To me, this is a trade I'm way more comfortable in. Just getting involved, piecing it out as we get lower and lower, adding. Like this is what I tried to do yesterday with that NVIDIA 1200 break, or NVDL, sorry. That's also what I was doing on AMD the day before. If you have a style that works for you and that I also think still plays on my scalpy and rangy natures, then that's something I want to nurture more than a trade I'm not as comfortable taking. Also, I wasn't a Tesla short. Man, am I happy I got out where I did. In case you're like, what was the logic for this Tesla short? I'll tell you, because I still feel okay about this trade. We had a lower high here. I watched a couple times that rejection of 174. I got involved, I will admit, way too early. I got involved in that VWAP rejection. It was a planned addition here when we failed that 174 the first time, added at 174.80, 173.80, sorry. Initially, this was a nice little look. Then I noticed we were popping into 174s. I got out, managed it appropriately, so no complaints there. Again, just really trying to find trades that you're willing to take either way. And so this Tesla, I said, Adara, this could go against you, but would you regret not taking it? I said yes, so I got involved. Same with Microsoft. I absolutely would regret not taking this Microsoft. We're going to start piecing this out. If we get into 61s, then adding back as we get to 80s, this is going to be a little chop, 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 because I want some shares. And I do want, actually, all of this smoke.
Ooh.
Also, nice look on that Robinhood there. Just, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully this, what a recovery though. It was tanking right at the open there. All right, guys, let's get to the lesson du jour. We are talking about the short squeeze and these meme names all week. Yesterday, we gave you that idea about fading the strength into the afternoon using relative strength. Today, we'll get a little bit, well, not a little bit, we'll get as nuanced as we got yesterday by talking about another volatility indicator, goes by the name of moving average convergence divergence. Short form is MACD. Let's get right to it. So meme stocks, these heavily shorted names, they're fueled a lot of the times by the social media frenzy. They can be hot, but they can also be quite risky. Today, we'll explore how the moving average convergence divergence, MACD, for short indicator can be used to identify potential entry and exit points for intraday meme stock trades. Remember, this is just a tool, and sound investment decisions require further research. So do sound trades. So what is MACD? Just quickly, we'll identify this indicator. So MACD is a momentum indicator that measures the difference between two moving averages of a stock's price. It consists of three parts. Number one, the MACD line. This line represents a difference between the 12-period exponential moving average and the 26-period exponential moving average. Then you have your signal line, right? This is a very simple one. It's not a difference between any moving average. It's just simply the 9 moving average of the MACD line, smoothing out those fluctuations. So what it does, it looks at the MACD line, and then it takes a 9 EMA of the MACD line. Number 3, you have your MACD histogram. This is essentially showing you the difference between the MACD line and the signal line. It visually essentially represents the relationship between the two moving averages. Perfect example is here. You have your blue line, which is the 12 period minus the 26 period, and then you have your red line, which is the MACD, the 9 EMA of the MACD line, and then you have your histograms over here, which kind of visually represent whether the 9 period EMA is above the MACD line. The MAC signal line is above the MACD line. So the MACD signals for meme stocks, or for these highly shorted names. What are we doing here? So for volatile meme stocks, for volatile heavily shorted names, we're looking for specifically crossovers between the MACD line and the signal line. So we have different types of crossovers. The first one is the bullish crossover. When the MACD line, which is the fast line, crosses above the signal line, which is known as the slow line, it suggests increasing momentum and a potential buying opportunity. This might be a sign that the stock is about to climb higher intraday, so you're always looking for that. So you have a bullish crossover, that's number 1. Number 2, you have the bearish crossover. This is when the MACD line falls below the signal line. It suggests weakening momentum and a possible selling point for you. The stock might be due for a pullback when that occurs. So keep that in mind. And then you have your divergent. Oh, sorry, this is how it looks over here. So that's when you have your bullish crossover when the MACD line crosses above the signal line. So you have the black line going above the red line, and then that's your bearish crossover when the MACD line crosses below the signal line. And so divergences here are also important, right? Because you're not just looking to get in and get out when there's a crossover on the MACD and the signal lines. No, you're actually looking for MACD price action divergence. So what is that? So divergence can be a useful tool with meme stocks. This is when the price movement contradicts the MACD indicator. So the bullish divergence happens when the price makes a lower low, but the MACD makes a higher low. This is suggesting to you that there's a potential trend reversal upward despite the price dip. So in this case, you're getting the MACD makes a higher low, but the price makes a lower low. So that is what we call bullish divergence. Bearish divergence happens when the price makes a higher high, but the MACD makes a lower high. This is suggesting to you that there's a possible trend reversal to the downside despite the fact that the price increased, making a higher high. So we're always looking for MACD price action divergence. And here is a great one on GameStop, no less. So what you have here is lower highs on the MACD, so you compare it to the high on the price action. So you get a 27 touch on GameStop, and then you get a 0.5 touch on the MACD, and then you get a 28 touch for a new high on the price action, yet you don't get that new high on the MACD. This is bearish divergence because you're getting newer highs on the price action, but not newer highs on the MACD. Always look for that. It's quite effective. All right, so confirmation. Remember here that there's two things that you need to account for. Confirmation to make sure your trade is sound, and also to manage risk. So remember, MACD, just one indicator. Look for confirmation from other technicals like high volume, for example, during the bullish crossover, or falling volume during the bearish crossover. And always set stop losses in order to limit potential losses, especially with these memes and highly shorted names. If it's not going to be a hard stop, then you need to make sure that you are following that mental stop. And practice and research can't be more heavily stressed here. Use proper trading. Use a paper trading account, to practice your MACD with meme stocks. This will help you understand how the indicator reacts to different price movements. And remember, technical analysis is absolutely a skill that takes time and practice to develop. Do your own research on the company's fundamentals before investing in anything, and make sure you have a good, solid understanding of these technicals before utilizing them, Adara.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Sheree for that last. We also have a super chat to that effect. Doc Willstar, thank you so much for the $1.99 super chat saying, great MACD explanation. I agree. Thank you very much for that super chat there, Doc Willstar, and thank you, Sharif, for that lovely lesson of the day. MSFT, I am super proud of. MSFT in the place to be, already got out of this trade, then got back and started a whole new position. You might be like, Adara, why wouldn't you just peace out? Well, no, I really wanted to get out at 20s because that was, to me, a bit of an area of previous support on the chart, so I didn't want to mess with that. Then you might be like, well, then Adara, why'd you add back in? I don't know why I did that like weird sitcom voice. Well, I added back in because I want to see what we did in the book. We couldn't get above 422.50s. For reference, the level I was really using here was that 422.80 break. And then I added in at 74s, right? So the point I'm trying to make is, as long as we have lower highs, I have no problem staying in this trade. I have a really small position now. What I want is that 422. I have no interest in adding in this unless we get to like 422.60s and continue to break lower. But I mean, if we break into 421s, 421, can you do something for me?
Oh, yeah.
Please. So that's my look. I'm really proud of this, and I'm happy I went with a trade that I really like the look of. And again, and this was another, not to like continue to, toot my own horn or read my own notes of the day or whatever, but it's just stuff to remind myself to keep myself grounded in trading. And one thing I also like put out there that I think is important is just figuring out the difference between trades that you feel good about, avoiding trades that you feel aren't going to work out versus avoiding trades because you don't want to mess up your P&L. Right? Like if there's a trade you legitimately don't like, stay away from that. But if you're staying away from it because you're scared, scared trader is an efficient trader, as Sean often says. So Microsoft curling back into that 422.40. Like I said, though, as long as I see lower highs, I'm not saying bye, bye, bye. We're staying in sync with after the T. Going to sync up those drives here, hopefully, for some couple more pennies in this. How are you doing?
Good. Let's talk about some of these small cap gappers that we've got on. So WISA was the other one that I was looking at. WISA. This is one that has run before. I recall the name. This one is about 16 3/4 market cap, or 16 4/5 market cap right now as it goes up. It's done 17.7 million shares on the day, 4.3 million share float. And the short float is as follows, WISA. It is heavily shorted, perfect, 17%, not the biggest amount we've ever seen, but one that could allow this to get going. 17% short, 365 HOD. Let's go back and see if there's any technical levels with which we need to concern ourselves. Sure is. On the 15th of May, this bad boy made it up to $5, so I'd be expecting a $5 resistance level. We also have the 50 period here, from which it's rejected multiple times, hanging out at about 4 1/4, 4 1/3, hard to tell from this zoomed out level. But WISA looks awfully good here. It has been lower lows and lower highs after having a monster day on April 16th and April 17th. We've sold off the entire gains and literally gone right back into that $2 low that we were at prior to that big move up in mid-April. Does WISA have a headline today? What is this? I don't really see it. E continues to expand presence. Oh, here it is. All right, WISA continues to expand presence in the $296 billion wireless audio market with innovative licensing deals. To be honest with you, this looks like the company released this headline. So, yeah, anyway. Well, it's moving, and that's all we really need to know. If there's a catalyst that other people can look at and it's not entirely bogus, at 3 2/3 right now. Now, the one that I just got stopped out of, sadly, FRGT, this neither holds the volume weighted average price nor the 50. So we take an L on that one. On FRGT, no good there, and it's on the way down. So that one is below VWAP and no longer tradable under my system. So we'll go 1 for 1 on the day so far. Right now, still in hood, doing well on hood. Look, just got the top beak wetter there at 22.93. Next beak wetter set up at 22.95. Let's see what we get.
We love beak wetters over here on How to Trade. It is what we do. Also, what I'm trying to do is add it to Microsoft. And I'm like, Adara, what are you doing here? I mean, why I want to add into this is because I'm still seeing lower highs, and I also realize if I don't get my 422 break right away, I'm going to still want some profit for the road. You know how people get coffee for the road, whatever for the road? I want some profit for the road. I want a little beak wetter for the road. So that's what I'm going to do here on this MSFT. If we get to 28s again, because we're still having lower highs, mind you, still on a chart basis, but also I've been watching the book, and I feel like I do think watching the book has been able to help me with my trading decisions. I relied on it pretty aggressively in my NVDL trade yesterday, and I found that to be fairly helpful. So I'm just trying to find new strategies that work, right, in confluence, in tandem with trading on the chart. So if we get back into 422.10s, we're going to get half the position out. Let's keep it coming, Microsoft. Let's open those Bill Gates to the downside. That would make me place this punch, and that would make me do my little Steve Ballmer dance. Also, 2 other shorts I like right now. One of them is Tesla. This is a level I wrote actually in that little document I was just reading off of, and it was 174.50. You know what? I don't know. Yeah, how big? I'm gonna say, if I have enough, buying power for this, I do want to get in this short here. So we're gonna get involved. 45s, small position. Yeah, no, I can't do that. So hopefully Microsoft will give us a little beak wetter, at which case then I will be able to add to my Tesla. But also maybe Tesla doesn't want me involved because I like this with these wicking candles here failing to close above into that 174.75. I also like that it's previous support and resistance flips can be really spicy, but I don't know if we're going to get that flip here. Meanwhile, though, if we can just flip some of those profits here out of Microsoft, which is just nuzzling his little nose here against my profit-taking area, then that'd be great. Then we can get into that Tesla. So please just punch Microsoft 421. Can you please do something for me? But also it's 1121. So also we have something else we can do here. Yes, we are brought to you by American Airlines, trading in the USA under symbol AAIRF, and in Canada under symbol Wi-Fi, WIFI. This company just announced a knockout punch, a global marketing partnership with the Ultimate Fighting Championship.
Airs Tech is dedicated to bridging the gap between technology and wellness. Airs Tech's mission is to provide cutting-edge solutions that protect against electromagnetic radiation without disrupting the everyday use of technology. This innovative company has seen consistent revenue growth and boasts several high-profile customers like Russell Brand and top UFC athletes. So invest in American Airs today on the OTC markets. Shout out to Jeff Mendel under AAIRF and on the Canadian Stock Exchange under WIFI. Shout out to American Airs. All right, so, pardon me? Oh, thank you, Ram.
Grass is Sharif.
Oh, I'm ready for the big time now, Dara. No, I'm kidding. Shout out to Ram. I'm looking at getting in on the Zon over here. Now, I'm kind of considering that maybe this is not a good idea. I gotta tell you why. I'm seeing market weakness on the NQ, lower highs, lower lows, and we're essentially flat on said NQ right now. So if that is the case, then I don't know how bullish these Mag 7 names are gonna be, but there's no question about it that Amazon has absolutely respected the 10 period on the 5 on the day. There is no closing print below the 10 period subsequent to the opening bell. You do have a few wicks here and there between 9:55 to 10:20. But subsequent to that, we haven't even broken it through a wick base. Obviously, we've closed above it. So with that in mind, I put in a bit of a dip trade hanging out at 183.55. I am cognizant of the fact that we put a topping tail candle through the whole dollar level and that sometimes not so good. So maybe I should be waiting at more price action resistance rather than the 10 period if this is going to stop trending. What I'll do is I'll go in with a half position because I'm a little bit suspicious of this trade at 183.55, and that's exactly what I've done. If I do get stopped out there, if it breaks exactly through that 183.25, I definitely would be looking at that 182.80, 182.90-ish, essentially where VWAP is, and essentially where the top end of this bull flag kind of looking pattern here is. It was essentially a consolidation area top. And if we make it back down there, I want to look to defend that level. So, two things. Putting an order for half the size at the 10 period to see if it holds up there. If it doesn't hold up there, I give it 25 pennies worth of risk to the bottom end of this area over here. If I get stopped out, I'm definitely looking at 182.90, 182.80 on the Zon. The other thing I was trying to do here is this Apple trade, nice range trade on AAPL. Haven't involved myself in it. It's been obviously, ranging between yesterday's closing print and this like 195.50-ish area. It's not an exact level though. What else we got over here? WISA, still going. Haven't done anything on that one though, Dara.
Yeah. WISA is definitely one of those, like Holo, it's like part of the repeat offenders of the small cap, the rogues gallery of small cap runners. They're always there. It's like in the universe of like Batman, like Arkham Asylum or whatever. That's those Holos. The WISA is the one with strong short floats that pop their little heads up every once in a while because people on social media are fond of them. So shout out to Holo and WISA. Good times there. Tesla, okay, that was fun. You know when you like have your beak wetter and it
Bro, did you see your Microsoft?
Oh, yeah, I am. Please punch about my Microsoft. I'll talk about my Microsoft. Thank you. I got out at 421.89s. Really what I wanted to, like I said, what I was looking for is my 421 break. The second we broke below 421, I was like, that's all I need to see. I was willing to wait a little bit. We poked our heads back above 422. I said, Adara, your plan was to wait for that breakdown into 421, so just take your profit. Took my profit. Literally so pleased as punch with my Microsoft trade. Not even like, P&L wise, I'm not gonna like complain. I'm proud of that as well. But for me, again, I'm trying to trade less P&L and more SGCs. This is gonna sound progress and learning. That NVDL trade, that was not my most profitable trade of the day yesterday. It was, for me, that trade was a little bit about it was a little bit about posterity, but it's also about like staying in something. It's like if you have an idea you like, if you have that commitment, if you have that conviction, you owe it to yourself to stay. So that was what I tried to do with NVDL. That was the Microsoft thing as well. I was like, Adara, like it might break lower, but you wanted to break down below 22s, so stick with that. Let Microsoft 21 do something for you. Also Tesla. So Tesla, this was just heartbreaking. Like this is like a crying in a sad movie moment. I had my area to leave here, 174.16. We get to 174.18, then we pop back above my point of entry. Excuse me? But no, it's all good because then we dropped that lower. I said, Adara, you're not going to get necessarily what you want. Try to take your 22 pennies. That's what I did here in TSLA. You might be like, Adara, what was the point of that trade? That's like 25 pennies, 22 pennies. I mean, my thing is, it's a scalp. It was what I wanted. For me, again, this was just about this level. I liked this level. I said, Adara, if you like this level, you owe it to yourself to trade this level. So that's what I tried to do here. I also loved these topping tail candles here into 174.60. I waited for Microsoft to be done, got a clear head, got involved in the TSLA. That meta, you called that meta breakdown, by the way.
Breakdown.
Because I actually was like, oh, maybe meta will be a long, but no, you called that short there.
I'm still waiting at 496. I don't know how I feel about this anymore there because we're making newer lows. I don't know if I like this defend because I'm just looking to defend this top area of this level over here, and I don't know if I'm going to go long at 496. The order's still out there, but yeah, good call out on that. I want to mention another thing here. GameStop is making moves today, guys. Okay, it's not dead. It's up 6 1/5 right now. It's up more when I just pulled it up. It's in a bit of a range, 34.30 to the high side, 31.28 to the low side, but that really isn't the range. This is what I see on the 5. Call me crazy, but I see a 50-period hold on the 5. So you initially had that consolidation area low, and it held right at the 50 period. That was in the pre. And then the bell rung. We held the 50 after the bell rung. And then look at this dip over here at 10 o'clock. You dip aggressively. Guess what? You held the 50. And then you dipped again at 10:50 to 11:05. And you held the 50 again. So there seems to be some sort of love affair between a GameStop and the 50 on the 5 today. If that's the case, I'll play the dip. So I'll put my orders to kind of shadow the 50, and then based upon what it's done historically over here, where the wicks really haven't broken the 50 by all that much, I can keep a relatively tight stop. And by relatively, I mean obviously it's proportionate, or it's relative to the price of the stock, right? It's not going to be the same type of out that I would have had on a Meta, for example. Rivian Millionaire waited out on Meta. Okay. Sebastian, no need to call me sir. I'll call whatever I want, man. What up? What's going on here? Anyway, Kevin Mendoza, GameStop, can't stop, won't stop, Killer Cam, 1020. There's a private video that was uploaded to Keith Gill's at YouTube in the live stream playlist. Interesting. Neil, what's up? Hood high a day. All right. So thank you for that, Neil. I'll get to GameStop in a second because we're involved in Hood. Yes, it is. I still haven't got my beak wetter that's sitting at 95s. I've been waiting at that 95 print for a hot minute. That is the high a day. And I do see here, even though I'm in the sim and don't have the full picture of the book, for what I do have, I can see that there is some decent size here. Nothing as large as 23. You can see the big boy size hanging out at that 23, but not to be disrespected. And there we go. We got the print at 95, so we get the HOD print on the Hoodsters. And here comes 23 on the Hoodsters. So we're going to put a 23 beak wetter to see if we can get filled there. We'll wait and see exactly what's happening there. All right, Bryce. What's going on with Bryce? Oh, Jack CW said something first. Path, rocketing highs of day at Adara, at myself, PATH, UI Path. Yes, sir. Or well, maybe people get upset about that now. 3 1/3, 12 1/4. Shout out to you, UI Path, making moves up nicely on the day. We got Bryce. Check out Path. All right. Same thing with Bryce. Pretty Panda on Med, ONMD, making big boy moves here. ONMD. One MedNet. Yeah, 30%. Good look there on this one. Let me pull it up so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about. Just one sec. There it is. ONMD. I don't know why I'm having trouble typing this one. Yeah, see, this one I didn't have eyes on. I got to tell you the truth. And likely because it did dip aggressively below VWAP there. So I was like, this is not so much. But it's making a move into the highs here. Now, I'm wondering if this is more of a range trade than a breakout trade, even though it's up 30%, because you keep getting into these levels and rejecting. However, you are making higher lows. So I'll keep it on the side chart. Perhaps it could do something. auction. Now I know we have the 8-week and the 4-week coming out. To be honest with you, Mr. Long Shorts, they really haven't been market movers as of late, the shorter dated auctions anyway. 4-week, 8-week bill auctions, still haven't got the results of those. If they do move markets, maybe we'll look at it a little bit more there.
Yeah. Yeah, shout out to that. Also, shout out to you for being in the hood there. Oh, and you're in your meta, so.
Just got in.
Best of Luckerberg. No. Also, I am in NVDS, so I am shorting NVIDIA using NVDS. So basically why I'm doing this, you guys know I love trading the big boy himself, NVDA. You guys know I love trading NVDA. But, you know, with the buying power in the live, I'll be able to do that when I come back from my little trip, because then NVIDIA will be post-split, and I will be happy as a banana split. What was that analogy? I don't know. It happened.
Good enough.
But this NVDS, I got involved because look at NVDA. NVDA, A, rejecting off the 9 EMA, B, we have this little chop and turn area. We are getting a bit of a bullish candle here, being cognizant of that, but I already took some profit here. So I'm okay with this. If we get to 42.05s and bounce, I'll add. I really just want to continue seeing lower highs and lower lows on NVIDIA, and then higher highs and higher lows on the NVDS. I apologize, this is kind of a confusing way of trading this, but I really wanted to take that short, and I was like, you know, Adair, if you have a way to take that short, take this. Initially this morning, I was like, maybe I'll need like NVDL locates, blah, blah, blah. Then, I don't know why I did that voice. Then I saw on the volume scanner, shout out to Trade Ideas and Michael Noss, I saw NVDS cap popping up. So I said, Adara, this might be, you're in on that. So yeah, I'm okay with that. We're gonna add a little bit at 42.09s. So I have some more opportunities for beak wetters as we get that breakout in NVDA, hopefully in a breakdown on my NVDS. Those are really the only names I'm looking at right now, just my NVIDIA and NVIDIA's little cousin NVDS. Tesla, okay, this Tesla, this still keeps ranging. I just don't want to go short 174.50 again with more confluence, because the way we're consolidating around this area, I think we could have a breakout to the upside. So I don't have as much confidence in that as I do in this NVDS right now. Microsoft's still breaking lower, but like I said, the only way I would take that is if we get back into those levels I like. I just love that flat bottom break on Microsoft. That was the impetus for that trade. And then just those continued lower highs, lower lows. The fact that we don't have this 9 EMA rejection, I don't really have any levels to play off of that. Proud of what I did with the trade. On to the next one. As Obi sometimes says, or often says, where's the next trade? So I'm going to keep looking for that. Right now, though, I'm in NVIDIA. So I want to look at a couple names for a couple people that were mentioned earlier, so I apologize for not looking at these earlier. But I believe it was Lady A in the chat. From one lady, or Miss A, sorry, from one Miss A to another, I would love to look at this Palantir for you. I think you said it looked like maybe a double top. Sorry, this was a while ago. Palantir is a great look, though. We did have that a bit of a rejection here into that 23.78, near that high of day. Not one, but two candles wicking up saying, hey, no, we don't want to go any higher. So I would watch out for that level. But I think the fact that we've already kind of tested and bounced off support at that 23.50, I like that 23.50 on PLTR. If we can bounce off the 9 EMA, especially if we bounce off the 9 EMA with confluence with that 23.58 area that we wicked into earlier. You guys know I love these like wick rejection support areas, so I think that'd be a nice look for PLTR. And it looks like we actually might get that look. There's also 1320 Wolf told me to look at AMD, so let's take a look at AM Dizzle in the hizzle. Oh, AMD bouncing off VWAP. I don't have a play on this. I am more short biased. I'd be more likely to take this short, but you know, I like this wick into 168 that got failed. I don't have a read on this right now, though. If it becomes more of a range, that's where I'd be more interested. NVDA trying to grind a little bit higher, so my NVDS grinding a little bit lower. I'm going to go babysit that one for a bit, but I have no reason to leave this yet. Like I said, as long as I keep seeing higher highs and higher lows, I shall be at least on NVDS, and then lower lows, lower highs on that range in NVIDIA. I'm going to stay in this.
All right, Meta's doing okay. I'm still a little bit worried about it though, but we just took a beak wetter, but this is the one that's doing well. Hood, we just got 23s there, break of 23s now. We got HOD on this monster. I believe 05s or 04s is the high of day on Hood. It's up 6 2/3. So great look there on Robinhood to the high side today on the back of that acquisition. We're going to spend about $200 million to pick up, what is it called? What?
Bitstamp.
Bitstamp. Oh, that's easy. So yeah, that's the look there with Hood. I'm just going to keep looking for higher levels on this one. I mean, it probably behooves us to do a little charting so we can kind of expect where to find possible resistance on Hood. So let's do that. Let's go into the 1 hour and see if there's any levels we need to concern ourselves with at this. Okay, so no, it can't be this because we're at your yearly highs. So this is going to have to be the daily. All right, Robinhood. Wow, we have not been at these levels on the hooded one since unreal 2021, Neil. We have not been since there. Yeah, I mean, like that's really makes sense because what ended up happening after everyone knows what happened in 2021. Papa got on the mic and said, you know, not transitory, this, that, and the other. Anyway, so great recovery there for the hooded one as it does this rounded bottom. This is one wide, you know what, rounded bottom. But if we were looking at the monthly, not so much anymore, huh? Right? Doesn't look as very wide. So good recovery here for Robinhood. Now, with respect to daily levels, you really have to be suspicious of levels back from 2021. So I'm just going to look at the whole dollar levels, the $5, the $10 levels. I don't want to put too much weight into something that took place 3 some odd years ago. So we'll continue to watch the hooded one at these levels and see what we get. All right, we said we were worried about Meta. Not so much. To the high side goes Meta, a couple of bottoming tail candles, a couple of hammer candles at these levels. So it behooves us to wet said beak at these levels. But the spready one, spreada, as Adara often calls it, is going to make me wait for the print as per usual. There we go. We get it. Almost $1 in the money on the monster, or one of the monsters, I guess. We'll see exactly what we get. And we will not get upset no matter what happens there. Shout out to Neil Roberts. Go Hood. There we go. Hood is absolutely in a full state of pamp. And we just took out some there, I believe, at 10s, Adara. So nice move up for the hooded one.
Yeah, congrats to you. Definitely not pulling any wood or any hood or any wool over your eyes there, just getting that profit. So shout out. I love all those little beak wetters. Also, I love like the placement. Like you got like top wick at the time on a lot of these.
It was luck. Let's call a spade a spade. L-U-C-K. Yeah. Hey, it's a good point, actually. Yeah. You got to be prepared. Otherwise, you can't have any luck if you don't put the orders out.
I was saying that to Obi as well, because we were having this conversation, I think one of the, like last week or something, or the week before. And because he was like, oh, it was luck. And I was like, well, I think that you have to be prepared in order to benefit from that luck, right? Because it's like if you didn't have your order out, then it wouldn't have mattered. No. You know what I mean? So,
well
or
said.
It might have been harder to get. So
yes.
Congrats to you, though, as Hood continues to break high of day.
Appreciate you,
yeah, also, I am very proud of my instincts on that Tesla because I was like, I could try to short this 174.50 again, but I'm not sure. And Tesla was like, yeah, good thing you didn't go short on that because, oops. Yeah, Tesla broke 175. So nice look here. I have no read on this. Like I said, I am trying, you know, and I appreciate Sharif for mentioning this yesterday. I would say I am moving out a little bit from strictly range trading. I'm trying to branch out, but I still want to find, like, I still find even the trades I make that aren't range trades, they're based on some kind of range function. So with that in mind, to kind of explain what I mean, this Microsoft, this was a flat bottom break. So I kind of played it as a breaking of the range, right? And then just taking and adding as we got lower, adding off those rejections of the 90 MA. So it's like using my range instincts to try to play these not necessarily on paper ranges trades, if that makes sense.
It does.
Thank you. Kenneth Choi, $2 super chat. Check out VRNT. I'm not an insider, by the way. I like that disclaimer. Okay, I kind of get why you say that because VRNT, not a ton of volume on the day here. About 600. I like that you clarified that because VRNT, to be clear, we've seen like, you know, there's been lower volume names to be sure, but we do have 682,000 shares, so not a ton of shares of volume here. VRNT unfortunately did just have a pretty steep fall here after this nice little move up. If we bounce here off that 36.20, not a bad look. What is this company? Let me find out. NT stock. This is Verint Systems. So that is the look. Let's take a look at this daily chart for Verint Systems. Okay. It's actually not a bad daily chart, I have to say. You know, honestly, like I'm not throwing any stones. I'm not saying anything about this company on the longer term. My only thing is just it's a little bit harder to analyze these intraday when the volume is so low. But I mean, on the daily chart, I can tell you, I do love this 29-ish level. Look at that resistance support flip that we got. So we had resistance coming into December 2023, support January 2024, support again, chop and turn, break back up mid-April. Then once again, we get it in early June. So I don't think this is a bad look at all for Verint. I think Verint could be a verified nice trade. Not advice, just my take on the chart. But yeah, I think that 29 support, great look here for Verint on the daily chart anyhow. We broke up, the other level I'd watch out for would be 33.60, but we broke above that. So I I would say the next level maybe, look at a couple pops who got into 39s. That'd be my look here on Variant, Kenneth Choi. Hope that helps. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your super chat.
All right, I want to shout out Scott H because he pointed this one out to me. FBLG. It goes by FBLG. Fibrobiologics. We all know what biologics are. They're a new type of medication that uses your own body rather than chemicals. $348 million market, 345 now. 1.44 million shares. It's a little suspect. The float is as follows. 22.7, so 23 million shares. Let's see what the float is. FBLG, short float that is. Trade Ideas doesn't have it. That's fine. I like this level for the short, Scott, and that's not for no reason. Look at that consolidation area top. That takes us back to June 4th and essentially the midday top there on June 3rd. We get right back into that 11 3/4, 12-ish level, and Quadunk went the dynamite. Look at that drop into 10 in short order. My goodness, but a bottoming tail candle taking place now as it's doing the dance here, trying to stay above that 10.5, 10.25 level. So good look there, Scott. Here's the 1 minute look on it. My only concern about this bad boy is that the volume is a little suspect, but when you do look at this on the 1 minute is a beautiful hold of the 10 for the majority of the move up. Then you get a dip into VWAP at $10, and then that was the bottoming tail candle we were talking about, right back into 10 3/4, but not enough to bring it above 11. So it looks like there's some profit taking or some shorting in and around $11 there. So that's a good look. It's going to go on the side chart, but right now, the volume is a little suspect. Meta, I was waiting at 88s for the fourth beak wetter, and we still didn't get it. It crossed into 88s. Alas, the bid did not cross, so I didn't get the print. We do have a couple of bottoming tail candles, these hammerish candles, so I don't want to paper hand this trade and get out too early. But I am seeing a little bit of weakness on Meta. Now, let's go to Amazon, because I kept yapping about how Amazon was strong on the day. I didn't take the 10-period moving average dip, and I'm happy about that, because look at that break. Let me pull up the side chart over here, and I'm sorry I'm pointing at you guys at the camera, but I'm very excited, right? No, the point is, right? 183.25 is where the 20 exponential is hanging out on the 5, and I want to see if it stops here. If it does stop at the 20, I'm going to punch long, but I need confirmation. If it doesn't hold up at the 20, I will be as interested as humanly possible in this consolidation area top here at 182 4/5, 182 3/4. Generally, that area a smidge below 183 is the point I'm trying to make. It also happens to be where VWAP is hanging out exactly on my chart, 182.88. That is all predicated upon the 20 period giving way on the 5. If the 20 period holds up, I will take this long. I don't want to have a dip trade on the 20 because it hasn't shown me its propensity to respect the 20 on the day. So I'm hesitant to use it until I can see some proof. So that is my little rant about the Zon there. I'm very interested in getting it on the name. It's up 1%. It's doing well on the day. Let's call a spade a spade. It is the strongest of the Mag 7 names on the day. It's above all of them, right? And the chart pattern looks awfully better than all of them today, too. I mean, maybe shorts would disagree with me with respect to Microsoft. It looks fantastic for the shorts, but I'm talking for the longs right now. Amazon, the best looking chart on the day in Mag 7 world. I want to see if it holds up at the 20. If it does, I'm going long. If it doesn't, I'm looking for this consolidation area top over here to punch long. Hi, Dara.
Sharif. Sharif. I don't know. But yeah, I love the Ramin laughs. Those are like the highlight of, I love just chatting with Sharif and then Ramin laughing in the background. Good time. Shout out to Ramin and Fabian for everything.
Yes.
Because they do so much that you guys do. I was literally talking to them earlier. I was like, I do not know how you guys do it all.
Yeah, legit.
Shout out to them, being 100% serious. And they still have the time to laugh and be awesome and entertaining and whisper funny stuff in our ears. So
yeah, you guys have no idea. You have to understand, we're doing the podcast. We're doing this show, obviously. Well, this whole production, this channel. Yeah. They do the editing for social media. They make the animations. Fabian's been building up the podcast room for, I don't know, weeks and weeks and weeks while Ram takes naps at the big desk. I mean, it's really, I know, right?
That was such
Throw under the
You did it
bus.
so cash, too.
Yeah,
Just
yeah.
like sprinkled it in there.
I love Ram Ram. I'm just joking. Yeah, so they work unbelievably hard. Like, we really do appreciate them. They are top notch.
Yeah, that's why we just wanted to. I just wanted to shout them out because also, because Fabian and Ramin also work on the week ahead as well, so you can check that out on Sundays. But also, they work so hard. Yeah, case of point, another new video. Check out Freedom and Wealth podcast. Thank you, Ramin, for that beautiful double whammy of just double rammy. Of cutting to you, giving the audience a chance to see what's going on behind the scenes. And also, shout out to our Freedom and Wealth podcast. You can check out Brendan and you can check out Sean on that. Also, I do want to look at NVAX for Rob EV, but also before I do that, I want to talk about NVDA. I know I'm involved in NVDS. That's not even, I mean, yeah, of course, that's part of why I want to talk about it. But also people saying NVIDIA turning. Is NVIDIA becoming long again? I'm not sure. If it is, I'll flip from my NVDS to NVDL. Like NVIDIA, you're not going to be free of me. If I see something I like, I'm still going to be trading you. However, I see what I think the thing here, the big thing for NVIDIA, because even when I trade my NVDS, my NVDL, I'm always watching the book on NVDA. That's always what I'm going to, because I feel like I have a decent read on the NVIDIA book sometimes. And so, I mean, like I found that helped me yesterday. I found it helped me when I was trading NVIDIA itself live. But I think basically what I'm seeing here is 1205 as an area of resistance. So if we could break above that resistance and look at these bottoming tail candles, these higher lows, I do think we could break to the upside. I'm going to be honest. I'm still in this trade, though, in NVDS because I have no reason to leave. We're staying above 42s. I am going to stay in this trade. To quote Jennifer Hudson and her character, Effie, in Dreamgirls once again, and I am telling you, NVIDIA, I'm not going. Ooh. So I'm going to make you love me, NVIDIA. So we're going to stay in this trade. Yeah, I cannot do any justice to that song, but shout out to that. And that is why I'm staying in this. But I do want to acknowledge the validity and the veracity, I think, of some of these NVIDIA turning related comments. Let's take a look at NVAX. Okay, yep. Bye-bye. Yeah, buy NVIDIA. We're out of an NVDS. Actually still positive on that trade because I took some profit on it earlier. So please just punch with that. Shout out to anybody who was long in NVIDIA. I should have managed that better than I did. But we are, again, like still proud of what I did. No disappointment and no regrets. Shout out to OB who says that one sometimes. No regrets in this trade. I still think we could curl lower. And again, like I'll be watching my NVDL now to see if there's another play. We'll have to see what we do here. But I want to look at NVAX for Rob EV. Let's take a look here. Yeah, this is interesting. You were calling out that support around that 20 area. I think if we bounce here off 2030s, that could be a nice look for sure. I see some clear resistance at this 2130 area, and I say that because we saw some support earlier, so that could be resistance again. The next level I'd be watching out for 2220s, 2210s, because look where we had that little chop and churn below VWAP earlier. That's called confluence, and I do like that look. But if we bounce off the 90 EMA, I don't think this is the bad look. I think certainly NVAX, to use a term I hear Neil use and Sharif use sometimes as well, getting off the schneid a little bit.
Yeah,
NVAX.
that's Neil's
I want to look at Lulu as well. Someone mentioned Lulu in the chat to me earlier. I know also, I don't know if you're in here, Cavi82, but I know you trade Lulu sometimes. Lulu, I don't have a play on this right now, but I think that gorgeous double bottom here at 316 is, I'm going to use it again, gorgeous. It's a nice look. But we can't continue. We didn't have that VWAP bounce. I don't love that look. If we bounce off 320, that could be an interesting area. 321 maybe could do something for Lulu, but it's not doing anything for me right now. Not anything I haven't read on, but let's take a look here. Also, are you kidding me, NVDS? You have your little, you spook me out. You got me stopped out and you come right back up. No, I'm joking, I'm all good. Like I said, still like basically flat in that trade, didn't lose anything on that. It's just always a little disappointing when you get wicked out, like flicked out like a little cat, like pawing you, and then the cat's like back to doing everything like nothing happened. So weird analogy, all good. I don't have any reads on that right now. Actually, don't really have much of a read on anything, but if Lulu bounces, that could, like I know I said it didn't really do anything for me, but it did not do anything for me either. So it's still on my side chart and maybe in my heart. How are you doing?
I'm like 1 penny about to get stopped out from the Zon. I'm going to risk literally 10 pennies at this level because it has to hold up here. Otherwise, my trade is not valid, and I'll get back in at that 182.80 level. So long Amazon at 26s is printing 20s. I'm literally giving it to 13. So we're going to risk 13 pennies on a $180 name. That's how confident I am in this area. If it doesn't hold, then the trade is not valid for me. Anyway, back to Meta, because this is the one we're doing well on. It's umpteen amount of bottoming tail candles holding up at this level. Sadly though, it hasn't crossed my 88 print. I've been waiting for that 88 print to come in for a hot minute. 496 is 88. There seems to be that clear level of resistance at 497. Ever since breaking 497, breaking down below 497 over here, we flipped to use that level as resistance now. So it's printing 82s, and you can see as soon as it started printing 82s, the ask started coming in, and the sell orders were coming in fast and dang furious there. So I'm sitting there printing 80s, but I'm not getting printed at 88s. Number one, it's spready. Number two, there does seem to be some wall of sellers at that 97 general area to flip from support into now resistance. So we'll see if we get that move. All right, now we're printing 90s, but the bid is just so wide, I can't get printed on there. So we're gonna have to pack our patience on META. There we go. Now we get the print on Meta. So nice move up there on the Zuck train. Let's see if we can continue to move up a little bit more. We're not even at VWAP yet. VWAP still hanging out at 497 2/3. So we're well south of VWAP. I'm about to get stopped out, sadly, of Amazon, though, if it crosses one more penny down. So we'll lose 13 pennies on this name because it's a 20-period trade. Right, so that's the end of that trade. What I'll look for is a re-entry at 182.80, 182-ish 90. That's where VWAP is, and that's where our consolidation area top. And the reason I gave this such tight space, given the price, is because the 20-period trade is only valid if it comes and holds up at the 20-period. But when you get a closing print, why are you staying in the trade? It's no longer valid. Get out and get back in at a better level and give yourself the better odds of having a successful trade so you can ride it up a bit more. So I'm fine with taking the L there because it absolutely made sense based on my system. So we'll look to get on, we may not have to wait that long to get in on Amazon again. 122 double eights is where I'm seeing VWAP at. All right, so we get that quick wick through 497 on the Zuck train, and right down we go again, telling you that there is selling, at least for the moment, on 497, and I won't be convinced otherwise. So we're gonna keep it there because we're long 496.11s and see if this one can curl back at least into the volume weighted average price. The last one here, HOOD. Got that 23.11 print. The best it printed on the day was 23.16. It's having trouble with 23 again. Unsurprising. It hasn't been up at this level since 2021. So I'm not saying there's going to be short covering or profit taking up here because it's just been so long. But you just have to be careful with this extended name. I mean, it's had a good year. I don't want to call this like, you know, a meme stock or anything like that. There are sound fundamentals now behind this company. There really is. There's no stimulus checks going out anymore, guys, all right? The money that's in the system now is legitimate money. So you have to look at, you know, what's happening with these stocks now through a different lens than you viewed it during COVID. That's my humble opinion. And so that's why I'm looking at Hood as a legitimate, you know, competitor. And, you know, let's call a spade a spade. Hood could get acquired by a bigger name. We've seen this in the past. E-Trade, Ameritrade, all the bigger guys, they came and usurped them, right? So Hood, an absolute candidate for that as well. We've been talking about Snapchat. The Katina Man has been talking about Snapchat being a takeover candidate for a while. I think Hood fits that profile just as well. Let's see if, you know, well, we know Lena Khan and Merrick Garland aren't fans of acquisitions and buyouts, but it's an election year. That's all I got to say about that. All right, let's have a look quickly here at the Zon to see if we're going to get back in at these levels. No, not quite yet. So I'll pack in my patience there. And Meta, nothing really to do here. I'm going to get stopped out of Meta for the remaining amount. If it breaks 496 decidedly, I won't give back any profits on this name. Crap stock. That French sound, resistance, that made you, that's nuts, bro. Need to do that more often. My man, you know that like a great majority of the country speaks French, and we have to take French here from like a very young age. So a lot of us, we can pronounce words and stuff like that. Adair can fully speak French. I'm like,
not like fluent, but I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm not that good.
And I'm Quebecois, so like.
Well, yeah,
but,
well.
Yeah.
You have a bit of advantage there, I guess. Oui, says the Ram. Go, Ram, go.
I was so proud she was of herself for that. Yeah, shout out to Ramin and Fabian once again here. I just always, because they're always killing it.
Kanye East, I'm sorry. Calm down there, Kanye. Joker. Shout out to Kanye East, one of the OGs in the chat. You want to tell us about those triangles?
I do.
Go.
So I know I initially got out of NVDS. I was like, NVIDIA's breaking up to the upside. Then I said, I'll flip to NVDL if NVIDIA ends up being a long, right? So I looked at this. My level I liked in NVDL was 68.30s. You might be like, Adara, that's kind of random. That was an area that we bounced off of yesterday on the 5-minute. Let me actually show you to see, so I can show you guys what I'm talking about here. 68. Here it is. Yeah, look at that resistance support. So I knew this was a level that I actually liked for a reason, right? So I said, the fact that we came to that, I said, okay, Adara, that's something. That is indeed something. I don't know what that something is yet, but it's something. So I kept that in mind. Then I was like, Adara, if you can't hold that, why are you waffling, dilly-dallying, whatever you want to say here? Just get back in your NVDL, NVDS, that's totally a scalp. I'm shorting NVIDIA using NVDS. If we get over 4209s, that was a level I really liked earlier. I'll be pleased as punch with that. I don't know if we're gonna get it because NVIDIA is certainly in beast mode over here. And by beast mode, I mean it is being a beast. It is being very difficult. So we're gonna have to see what we do. I don't know if I'll get my 4209s, but I mean, if I do, I'd be pleased as punch. Took this, again, not a ton of shares, but a few more shares. Got a little bit more skin in the game because I do want all the smoke. And like if I'm gonna scalp like that, I wanna have shares to back up. I'm scalping. Are you also short NVIDIA? Hey, I can't even talk. Sean's $20 in the money. I was like, woo, like 12 pennies on NVDS. Sean is a cool $20 in the money NVIDIA. So I want to shout him out. That was really embarrassing for me. That humbled me.
I think he did it for effect. I know you're $12 in the money, but the way that you answered back was funny.
$20 in the money. Pardon?
20. Yeah. What did I say? We're off VWAP there. He's off VWAP there. He wants to let you know. Yeah, there it is. Look at that. So there you go. That blue line, that's VWAP. Short, cover, 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 and he's wetting his beak. Covered at 08 there. That's the last green triangle. And he's bidding 85s. He's bidding 1185 L. Well, is that LOD? 1184 is LOD. So yeah, basically just a buck in front of Legion of Doom. Yes, Hawk. Hawk and Animal, baby. I remember those guys. Do you know who those guys are? Wrestlers that used to come out with those big spikes. I thought it was like Legion of Doom from like the Justice League cartoon in the 60s. Yeah. I think they probably took that from them, obviously.
That was iconic.
Oh, yeah.
That was iconic.
Not like I know about them, to be honest with you, but I'm not much of a comic guy.
I grew up on...
Did you really?
Yeah, my dad is like a huge...
No way.
Yeah, that's how I know the Batman show from the 60s.
Ah, that makes sense. That does make sense. All right, I'm long Apple at this level to play the same range that's been involved all day on the dead one Apple. Where are we long? 55s. I have my stop through the break of this consolidation area low. So for breaks 39s or 40s, excuse me, that's going to be the out. It's got to hold this area because it's a range trade. So if it doesn't hold the area, then it's no longer valid. That's my look there on Apple. I'll be looking to wet my beak in the 60s and 70s, maybe up to the 80s if it does make its way up there. It's awfully slow to come into the levels from high and low. So number one, we'll see if it's a range trade still. Number two, we'll have to see if it makes its way up there. Now, the meta trade here, we were profitable on it, but it is coming right back into my levels again, into my entry level. I'm not going to let this trade go against me if it breaks 496 on a closing basis. That is the end of the trade there. Meta is all of a sudden developing into a range trade of its own with 495 or essentially, high 495s to the low side and essentially 497s to the high side. So, a little bit of a range trade there, right back down to 496 here. So if this ends up breaking 496, that's going to be the end of my trade. Let me tell you exactly where my stop is hanging out on Meta. There it is. Oops. Yeah, so I'm giving it some room. I'm giving it to 25 pennies below the dollar. So it's at the stop is at 495.75. So we'll see what we get there, and we won't get upset. So we'll see that move. Let's go back to Hood. Hood off the high. So as I anticipated, Hood is having trouble with 23 bucks. You kind of foreshadow that a little bit over here when we came up into 22.95, rejected all the way down into 21 1/3. We made our way all that way back up and broke that level and broke 23. But it gave you an idea that there was definitely a seller in and around that vicinity of 23. So we'll see if we can get anything out of this monster over here. HOOD, good day for it today.
Yeah, also that reminded me of a pun that I meant to make and forgot to make earlier when you were saying, like, you know, Hood and Snapchat, you know, both potential acquisitions. We'll have to see if Snap gets snapped up.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm lame. I had to do that.
I like it.
But yeah, thank you. I appreciate that. So Microsoft, I'm short again. This is, I was going to say I'm still in it. This is a nerve-wracking trade for me for a couple of reasons. For one, I mean, I'm not going to lie, a little bit of it is a P&L thing. Microsoft was like my top name of the day, really proud of my initial shorts on this. But the reason, and the other reason I'm a little bit nervous about it is we are kind of bouncing a little bit off the 90 MA. You might be like, Adara, then what was the reason for getting short? Well, that 422 area, we know that was a huge area for when I was in the short, that was a huge area. I was like kind of watching for that breakdown, right? So I said, as long as we can stay below this 421.89s, I'm okay with staying in this trade. I don't know if we're going to be able to get that. We might be pushing higher, but I did feel like we had a little bit of a turn down in the fuge. We're still below VWAP, though we are bouncing off the 90 MA. And like I said, this was a level I liked from earlier. So I said, Adara, if you like the trade, why are you waffling over getting involved because you're scared about losing some profit? Like you know, scared money does not, in fact, make money. And a scared trader is, in fact, a deficient trader. So you have to be able to, I'm still not in the money, but we did have another. Okay, I'm just clapping out at this point. The rejections, we're still not in the money here. Got involved 421.59s. The reason I picked that level is because we were rejecting 421.60s a little bit. I watched that a couple times. I said, Adara, get involved before you can't anymore because you don't want to chase this. We don't like chasing waterfalls. Kyle Burdett, 199 super chat saying the natural disasters were the best.
Do you know who that was? A guy named Earthquake and Tugboat. And the guy, Earthquake, you know what he'd do?
No.
His finishing move, Adara, he'd lie you down in the middle of the ring. He'd jump around you to simulate an earthquake because he was so big. And then the ring would shake. And then he'd go from one rope to the other and go boom, boom. And then he'd sit on your chest. And then your chest collapsed. And then a stretcher came out. It took you off, right? Because your chest collapsed at that point, right? You got to go to the hospital to take care of your lungs and stuff. So that was the OG. That's OG WWE right there. Say that again.
Ramin said that's what she does on the trampoline, but she doesn't break their legs.
All right. Guys, I want to remind everybody to vote because none of you guys have voted yet. Get into the chat right now. Hit exclamation point, the word join, space, the $sign, and the ticker of your choice. Do you want to talk about NVIDIA? You want to talk about the Katina Man's $20 winner? Get in there and talk about it. Do you want to talk about Neil's Hood trade? Get in there and put Hood in the chat. So we want to hear what you guys have to say every day. We talk about it from 2 to 2:30, but you got to vote now. You have from 11 to 2 essentially to vote. Go in, have your say every day for the afternoon rundown. Adara.
Yes, thank you for that. Please, if you want to see this mustachioed man to my right, please do not vote mustache. I mean, you can, but we unfortunately still cannot chart it, which is going to be the main issue with that. And to be clear, you know, like we have, like Sharif enjoys apparently the mustache jokes. We are team mustache over here, but we are also team looking at stocks. And until mustache becomes a ticker, that will just not be a viable option.
You know what I want? I want to actually put like, I want to get Brendo to put this. Okay, so if if the stash comes up number 3, we should just have stash and then take number 4 and put it with the stash so we actually have a ticker to talk about.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
But we can see where the mustache goes in on the list. But we'll include an actual ticker too. I thought that would be pretty interesting. I forgot to tell Brendo that today.
No, I thought that was so funny too because one of the times Brendan literally included in our list, in our you know, group chat, he did include stash in there. And I loved that he included it. I was like, but anyways, so this Microsoft short, we honestly super proud I took this. You could be like, well, Adara, you lost. I did lose, but I'm happy with the management. I said, if we get into those 89s, I'm getting out. We got into 89s, I got out, and then we broke up another few pennies. I'm not getting back involved in this for a while, but I'm still happy I took it because I'm going to be honest, as bad as this might sound, I was nervous to take this trade because this was a name I did well on. You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, I don't want to lose my profits, blah, blah, blah. Why was I British there? I don't know. But anyways, I'm still up on the day. I'm still up on Microsoft because I was careful about the management. I said, Adara, you like the trade. You owe it to yourself to take the trade. Try taking the trade. Sorry for the aggression there, but these markets make me a little passionate. Also, actually seeing Kyle Burdett and but Mr. Neil is ready, so we're gonna have to talk about big Kyle Burdett and the SPY short, the short that I took there after we talk to big Neil Roberts.
Thanks, there. You know, like, there's no time limit on this. You can finish the thought. There's no need to rush it there. The lesson of the day is going to be obvious. At least I think it should be obvious because a couple of stocks did this, and it was all led by NVIDIA. So when when is like the big reversal flush going to happen? What does it look like? What are the characteristics you can try to find when something tops out and then does one of those massive, massive liquidity dumps? Because a couple of things did that today, and there's some things about it that I think you would find interesting, because I was talking about this with Yannick, as a matter of fact, and we were going over that crazy failed breakout today on NVIDIA. So first things first, what is the difference between a pullback and a flush? Here, I'll show you an Apple chart today. This is Apple on a 3-minute, at the open, breaks out the high, pulls back, holds the bottom, goes to the high, pulls back, stays inside of the range. Those are decent enough moves. On a normal day, pulling back $1 on Apple, those are trades that you'd feel like it made a decent move if you caught it either direction. Now, the difference between that and a rejection breakout and flush would be what happened on NVIDIA today. An obvious example, it tried to take out 1250, it did take out 1250. Once it did it a second time back underneath, that fail break was an absolute watershed moment on volume and now continue to the downside. I have a trend line. I'll get to that at the end when we're done with this because it could be catching a bit off 12,000. But the thing about any kind of massive failed breakout is you have some characteristics that are important. One is you've got to trap longs significantly. So check. 1250 was a double top in the pre-market. NVIDIA is one of the strongest stocks out there. It's an even break when even breaks have been fantastic. It was stair step up. Like, look at this from a technical standpoint. It holds a pre-market low. It holds a higher low, breaks that out. So you have a dip buy that held. You had a breakout that held in here. And then you've got the obvious 1250 break. So you got some people that are going to like it. On top of that, anybody that, like myself, my strategy, I'm going to get out when it does this the first time through because I said I don't want to get trapped in the top end break, so I got out right away. But anybody that might have bought this, oh, there it is, it held 1250 again, that's actually a re-entry point for a move till 13 for a lot of people. So you're trapping longs almost twice, and then you get that big dump reversal. I even tried it off of the pre-market low, which thankfully we got out of it. The only reason we're going to be up on the day is we took profit there and took profit there. But the thing about it is you've trapped longs in multiple places, and then you break out all that support. You even re-trap longs up at that top, and when you throw it out there, usually you have a big parabolic mover. It's got to be something which has some really, really top-heavy strength in it or a lot of momentum behind it. So that's the kind of thing. It's not easy to reverse. I would argue if you're reversing in here, I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. Your best chance a lot of times is when it really gives up the support, like gave up the ghost in there, is looking for something 1225, kind of push back in and try to give you 1225 because the trend was pretty clean at that point, or you wait for it like Sean did to get the VWAP and then join the trend back. But if you can see that reversal coming, it's not a lot of risk when you start getting in here at that 1250, when you consider how much it could pull back. I'm going to give you one other example that isn't NVIDIA, just to show you this is not specific to NVIDIA. Look at something like Novavax. This had positive news. This has been a big squeeze name. Look at the last couple of days. So check one, you have a monster run up, consolidation higher, you've got a gap higher, bullish up top, holding higher lows, at least attempting to. And then what happens at the open? This was a lot faster of a rejection at the open, but you have to respect with squeeze names, low float runners, your GameStops of the world, pre-market action matters sometimes with these. You've wicked the top. 26 was a big level on the daily. So it's already failed the 26 level, which if you go on actually a weekly chart, because you have to go really far back, 26 was a big fail. It then put in lower highs and then took out the support right away at that open. So once that happens, you get the crater into the downside. If you're asking where could you possibly join a move like this, look what happens when it gets to yesterday's levels. Right in here, yesterday's bottom or tops turn into a bounce zone, 21. It rejects yesterday's high. That's where you can join. You're either in this projecting that it's going to flush and you just take 24 at the open because you've seen it reject that high. I was actually looking for a break back of the top, which obviously never happened, thank goodness, and then the dip buy, which I'm in at $20. But you can, if you are a contrarian trader, if you are a mean reversion trader, if you are someone that favors short trades, then when a stock is in that kind of breakout zone, you're looking for that fail break at the top where you can get yourself into the reverse. Now, long traders are going to do their best to get out of the way and not destroy their entire day or destroy their entire month, like kind of catching that falling knife. So a lot of long traders aren't going to be in that short. But if you are someone who looks for the contrarian play, oftentimes it's the thing that looks most bullish which will provide the best opportunity. Now, when you take a trade like this at the open, flushing through this pre-market bottom, let me zoom in so you get an idea. Like if you're taking this consolidation short, you might be in a 23, let's say you get filled at 75 or 50. You could be risking 50 cents to 75 cents, and you are looking for a gap fill. You're looking for $1, $2, $3 to the downside. You don't have to win 80% of the time for that to work out for you. Similarly with NVIDIA, if you are a trader who is not looking NVIDIA long today, when it flushes back through 50 that second time or even that first time, you're risking $5 or $6, and first level, you're probably thinking $12.35. And then from there, anything is possible in terms of how big that gap fill might be. So it's not a trade that you're looking to have to win 70, 80% of the time. You could be shooting 50-50 on something like that as long as you adhere to your stop. Now, this is the important part of the equation. If it runs that high of the day and catches a bid, you got to get out. You have to adhere to your stop. None of this matters. It doesn't matter how good the win you catch is or how good the opportunity is if when you lose on said trade, you're losing 5x of what you possibly win or 2x of what you possibly win. You've got to be willing to take this and say, well, if it makes a fresh high, I'm just going to get out of the trade. So those big flushes, just to recoup here, a lot of times the reversal trades are going to require a couple of things. One, it's got to be very, very bullish stock, big short squeeze that's been going on a couple of days, a big massive run into news like NVIDIA's had. To top it off, the fact that the 1200 break was so ridiculously good, that adds faith to a lot of people are just going to take that 1250 blindly. So you've trapped longs once. This trapped longs twice, holding back above 1250 as well. So it trapped longs twice. It was fantastic doing the same trade the day before. Both Novavax and NVIDIA had this going for it. And then you get that big monster reversal. You get the biggest sell events when people are the most bullish. But you've got to understand, be willing to have that stop at that high, at that resistance level, because you are going to be going up against the trend if you take a trade like this. So if you're a mean reversion trader, your lesson of the day is what to look for the big reversals and the big dumps. You just saw it here twice in one day.
Thank you very much, Neil Roberts. Guys, every day, Neil dropping hot lines on his lesson of the day around this noon hour. Make sure you're around to catch Neil Roberts every day around this time. Thank you very much for that, Neil. All right, was able to take out some profit on this Apple range trade. We got in at 55s for the bottom end of the range. We were able to get out some at 75, next peak wetter 90s. That's good news for the Apple range trade. However, the other side of that coin is I'm now short Microsoft because it came right back into that level, and that level was also the 50-period exponential. I'm short at 44s. We're 10 pennies out of the money right now. I've got a tight stop on this one because this is an area short. So if it breaks through this area on a closing basis, in my humble estimation, the trade is no longer valid. So if it breaks above 77s, I gave it to about 90. I gave it a bit of a spread between 77s and 90. It looks like I'm going to get stopped out of this for a quick loser right away. We'll see exactly what we get there on Softy. Nice recovery. It was a big move down, then a nice shape up to recover. So we'll see exactly what we get there. So Softy on the way, sadly, here to get stopped out. The other trade that I had with respect to Hood, not really doing much at these levels. I'm going to have to wait to see if it makes a newer low. I'm looking at that 2260. There seems to be a consolidation area bottom here. We've dipped into 2260 multiple times. If we come down into that level, that's going to be the end of my trade, which is perfect because I got in at 55s. So it's defended that 60 level very well. It jives with my entry, even though the market doesn't care about my entry. The fact of the matter is the price action just happens to jive with it. So that's kind of lucky for me in that regard. So in those three trades, Hood long, Apple long, and Microsoft short.
Yeah, thank you for going over those. Best of luck to you and those. I said to Sharif, I was also looking at the Microsoft short because you guys know I've been yapping about the Microsoft. Had that flat bottom break. Looks like you printing a little bit on that, so shout out to you. It's not one that I for myself feel confidence in right now until I see a couple more things. And again, that's what I was saying in my little notes to myself. Like, you can have things that look good, but they're just not ones you feel confident in taking. And I want to shout you out though, because that move is making its move to the downside right now. It's just not one that I had for myself, you know what I mean?
I feel you.
NVIDIA though, NVIDIA's ranging. Do you know how happy that makes me? Sorry for being so aggressive there. This is one of my favorite stocks, and it's one of my favorite things for a stock to do, and that's range trade. Although as I say that, it's breaking lower, so shout out to Sean, who was, I'm sure, pleased as punch with that break. I can't believe I was like, oh, I took 14 cents on NVIDIA, and then Sean's like, yeah, I'm $20 in the money, NVIDIA. I'm like, sorry, 23 now. Now he's $23 in the money, NVIDIA. I do want to shout out Sean. They're killing it, buying enough for an entire order of Starbucks per share. So nice look there.
Oh, don't say that. Ram's going to demand.
I meant more because
she's going to demand coffee.
Kids and stuff to Starbucks. That was more, but that was a joke about. But nice look there. Yeah, NVIDIA breaking lower. NVIDIA, breaking lower. I have no. Ramin's now demanding Birkins. Move over, Starbucks. But yeah, congrats to Sean. The Bears have woken up there. Also, Tesla, if you want to fall off here, you know I will take you short. Yes, Tesla, that's a threat, not a promise. Or it's a promise, not a threat. That's what I meant to say.
Oh.
Also, SPY. I wanted to mention this earlier. Obviously, it dropped lower, but I want to shout out Kyle Burdett because I know you've talked to me in the chat about how you will take these SPY shorts, just quick weakness. Obviously, I think you would have held a lot more than I did, but I saw this move up here. I saw the fact that we were rejecting that previous area of support a couple times, and we were below the 90 MA, so I decided, hey, Adara, take it short, risk into 44s. I got involved at 34s. We got into 40s, and then we rejected, so I was pleased as punch. I stayed in that trade, got out around 20, so I do want to, I don't know if you're here, but shout out to you. Big Kyle Burdett and all of the support you provide in the chat. I know people in the chat really appreciate it. I really appreciate it as well. So I want to shout you out for that trade because that is a style I definitely learned from seeing you in the chat. And I think it's great how much we can learn from everybody in this wonderful little community. How are you doing?
Good. We took out some profits there on Microsoft, but a bit of a hammer candle coming in now, guys. So I am concerned about this trade. Even though we were able to de-risk down here, I still am a little unconvinced, but I'm going to leave everything in place. The stop stays in place. The beak wetters, the profit takers stay in place. And come what may, if you end up getting stopped out, at least the idea was executed. So we'll see exactly what we get. But I'm seeing hammer candles now come in on Microsoft. I'm seeing it on Meta, and I'm kind of seeing it on the Zon. Not that much. Apple, people are asking me what Apple's doing. We're long 55s. I'm not taking any more out here. I already took out some at 75s. My next beak wetter is going to be at 85. So let's go ahead and sit there at 85s. And then the one after that will be for the test of that half or the whole dollar at 196. We'll sit at 195s. But yeah, I feel like maybe here, I saw a big hammer candle come in on the future as well because we dipped down quite aggressively into that 19,000 territory, and 19,000 is on, not 19,000 territory, 19,037 right near that IB low. And look at this. This is a bottoming tail candle if I've ever seen one. So showing you that there's a continued market strength. However, there is still this. There are these lower highs that we still haven't changed on the market, but that doesn't care about my position, and I'm now stopped out of Microsoft for the remaining amount as it broke up there. So we get triggered out. Am I positive on it or I end up losing on it? Let's find out here. I'm still positive on it. Okay, so not a bad look there on the soft one. Let's see what we get with Apple as it's curling up right here coming into VWAP as well. So yeah, a little upset about that Microsoft trade, but it's okay. It's right back into 423 here. Let's see if it stops up at the volume weighted average price, which it's at right now. So great look there for whoever took that bad boy long on, or sorry, took that bad boy long off 420.50 on MSFT. Now recovering midday. Back to Apple, right into the 80s we go. Let's see if we get that 85 print. I've been waiting for that for a hot minute. What else we got going on? Hood, it did bounce off 60 again. There's a buyer at 22.60. That has been the case since around 10:30 this morning. It's 12:20, so somebody's been buying this thing up at the 2/3 of a dollar for the last couple of hours. Let's see if it's able to change the trend, though. because quite frankly, even though you have that flat bottom at that 60-cent level, it really hasn't printed anything higher since around 11:30 or so, 11:40 at that 23.15. So good look there. I'm keeping an eye on Softy. I could be convinced possibly to get back into this one if we see some market weakness out there.
Yeah, so I had, since we have last talked to me, I have been in a Tesla short, now I'm in a Tesla long. You might be like, Adara, why? What is going on there? Let me tell you. I initially liked the short. Then we had that bottoming tail candle that the whole market kind of had, and I was like, okay. I'm happy with the management. I wanted to see us get, see what we did at 40s. We broke into 40s, I got out. Then I said Adara, I'm like, if this isn't a short, this could be a long as well. I noticed we kept bouncing off that 175.40, so I said, Adara, try to get yourself involved over there. Why not? Why the heck not? And there was no reason not to, other than fear. Sometimes if the idea doesn't work, go ahead, switch the style up. And if they hate, then let them hate. And watch the money pile up. I want to see what we do at 175.20s. That will be the level I'm watching out for. So basically what I'm doing is I'm using the same levels for the entry and exits, like stop and profit or whatever for the shorts and the long side here. Maybe playing this as a range would be the better move. I don't know, but if we bounce off 20s, I don't know if we'll add. I'll have to wait and see what we do at 20s. But I have no reason to leave yet as long as we stay above 20s. That is what I'm looking for. 21 might not do something for me, but 20 level in general certainly will on this TSLA. Currently about like 15 pennies out of the money here. Again, not the best trade of the day. Still up all the day, but it's a little bit sad when you start higher and then you give back up a little bit of the move just in trades in general. But the thing is, that's the thing with trading. You can't trade P&L because you don't know how it's going to go. You could get in that trade and you could lose everything, but you could also make like double what you had before. It's really just about sticking to your ideas and committing to your ideas. And if the idea doesn't work, find out why. Tesla just bounced off that 175.20 with a viciousness, so I am pleased as punch. I have no reason to leave this right now. Tesla might want to give me a reason at some point because it's Tesla. But yeah, right now we're going to stay in this. If I see another bounce, there might be an opportunity for a dip buy, but right now I'm comfortable with the position I have, and I don't want to have to add into infinity just to add into infinity. You know what I mean? You gotta stick to your rules. You gotta stand for something or fall for anything. So that's the look here on this. Lulu. Yeah, Lulu, nice look here for LU. I was initially looking at this 323.50 and Lulu was like, yeah, what are you talking about? I'm way above that area. So congrats to anybody who's long Lulu. Boeing, yeah, shout out to Elon. I know last week you were saying Boeing 190 and I was like, you know what I mean? I was just not as sure, but I mean, shout out to you. It looks like you are going to be getting your Boeing 190. Let's take a look at that daily chart here. Elon, let's see what Boeing's doing. Yeah, this is a nice look. I think that 192 level could be kind of interesting as well because that was that previous resistance. But we have generally, with the exception of these lower highs here around 175, we've generally made some higher highs. So I don't think it's a bad look at all for BA. Let's check on my TSLA quickly here because that is moving a little bit to the downside. I will say, like I said, one of the hardest things since going live is just not trading P&L. But you can't because it's like you can't make your trades based on if you're winning or losing. You have to make your trades based on if the trade makes some sense because that's what you want is you want trades that make sense. Actually, you know what, Tesla, if you're going to keep bouncing here, I will add to you. I said I wanted to see some confluence, some confidence. And yeah, I mean, the amount of bounces we've had, I'm not leaving. I will say, as I said to NVIDIA earlier, and I am telling you, I'm not going. So we're going to Jennifer Hudson once again for this trade. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to get, shout out to J-HUD, I don't know if I'm going to get this 175.25, but you know, I'd love to. But also what I'd love to do is shout out our awesome sponsors at Vantage Point. Thank you so much to Vantage Point Software, created by world-renowned trading software pioneer Louis B. Mendelson. Vantage Point forecasts stocks, futures, Forex, and ETFs with a remarkable proven accuracy of up to 87.4%. Using AI, Vantage Point's patented neural network processes predict changes in market trend directions 1 to 3 days in advance. Scan the QR code to learn more. Thank you so much to Vantage Point. Also, thank you to Neil for, in the chat, shouting out, if you don't stand for something, you fall for anything. I think it's pretty true. That's what I said here, right? And I think you've got to have beliefs, you've got to have ideas, and you have to commit to those ideas. Yeah, it's a really cool quote, so thank you for shouting that one out. I heard it somewhere, I don't remember where I heard it, but yeah. How are you doing, Sharif?
I'm good, but you know what we do? We have a lesson du jour. We're talking about the short squeeze all week. Obi and I will be completing the lessons of the week. Tomorrow, Obi fills in for Dara. Tomorrow and Monday, so catch the Ob, the one, the Kenob. He'll have his own twist on the lesson tomorrow, and I know people love that. So let's get right into it. Meme stocks, these heavily shorted names, they're fueled oftentimes by social media frenzy. They can be hot, but they can also be risky. Today, we'll explore how the MACD, moving average convergence divergence for long indicator, can be used to identify potential entry and exit points for intraday meme stocks and these other heavily shorted names. Remember, this is just a tool, and sound investment decisions as well as trade analysis through technical analysis is required, and further research must be done. But let's start off with what is MACD. So MACD is essentially a momentum indicator, much like the one we talked about yesterday, relative strength index. They're both momentum indicators. They measure the difference, well, MACD measures the difference between two moving averages of a stock's price. It consists of three parts. The first part, the MACD line. The MACD line is made of two different moving averages, exponential moving averages. It represents the difference between the 12-period exponential and the 26-period exponential. So the difference charted down on a line, this is called your MACD line. Then your signal line is the 9-period exponential of the MACD line. I know it gets really convoluted. You only need to know this once because you're not going to actually have to do anything with it. It'll be done for you automatically, okay? And the signal line, what it does, it, like all moving averages, it smooths out the price fluctuations to kind of give you a smoother look. And then last but not least, the MACD histogram. This shows you the difference between the MACD line and the signal line. Essentially, visually represents the relationship between those two moving averages. It doesn't show anything novel. It's entirely just a visual representation of the data that you already have there. So here's a perfect example of it. There you have your MACD line in the blue and then your signal line in the red. So MACD signals for meme stocks. So for volatile meme stocks, we're looking specifically here for crossovers between the MACD line and the signal line. There are two types of crossovers we're going to talk about today. There's the bullish crossover and the bearish one. With respect to the bullish one, this happens when the MACD line, which is considered the fast line, crosses above the signal line, which is considered the slow line. Remember, the signal line smooths out the MACD line. It's a 9-period of the MACD line. So by definition, it's going to smooth it out. When you get this bullish crossover, it's suggesting increasing momentum and a potential buying opportunity. It might be a sign that the stock is about to climb intraday to higher levels. The bearish crossover, conversely, is when the MACD line falls below the signal line. It's suggesting to you that the weakening momentum is coming and the possibility of a selling point may be on the horizon. The stock, and essentially, might be due for a pullback. And here it is. You get the bullish crossover here, the MACD line in the black, the signal line in the red. That's a bullish crossover. And you can see, obviously, we got a nice move up with the price with respect to that. And then you got the bearish crossover right here, where the MACD line crossed below the signal line. Look what happened. Lo and behold, we've had a bit of a downtrend. So that is essentially what MACD is showing you, and that's very, very rudimentary use of the MACD. But it's not the only use for which it's put. There's also the divergence with price action. You've heard us talk about this with RSI umpteen amount of times, equally as valid for MACD, the price action MACD divergence. So let's get to that. Divergences can also be useful with these meme stocks, with these heavily shorted names. Essentially, this is when the price movement contradicts the MACD indicator. So there's two types of divergences. There's a bullish one and a bearish one. With respect to the bullish divergence, essentially here, the price makes a lower low, but the MACD makes a higher low. So they're diverging in terms of pattern. It's suggesting to you in this case that a potential trend reversal upwards may come despite the price dip. The bearish divergence is exactly the opposite. The price is making higher high, but the MACD makes a lower high. This is suggesting to you a possible trend reversal downwards despite the price increase. And so those are the two types of divergences, very rudimentary explanations, but apt for this kind of lesson. And here is perfect example, Ram, of bearish divergence on GameStop. So you have, oh, it's okay. You can take your time. So over here, we get the high on the price, and we also get the high on the MACD. But look what happens. The price on GameStop continued to go up from 26.5 to 28. All the while, MACD made a lower high. And guess what happened after that? The Huadunk came in, and it came in fast and furious because you had that bearish divergence between the price action and the moving average convergence divergence. And I wanted to really show this one because it was so appropriate with GameStop. So confirmation, you always hear Adair and I yapping away about confirmation, and I think it's appropriate that we do so because technical analysis is nothing more than on the balance of the evidence and seeing where things are headed. So remember, MACD is just one indicator. Look for the confirmation from other technicals like higher volume, for example, during the bullish crossover, or falling volume for the bullish crossover, or falling volume for the bearish crossover. And always set stops in order to limit potential losses, especially with these memes and these high float names, or sorry, highly shorted names. If you're not going to put a hard stop, then make sure you are the type of person that will respect the mental stop. And practice and research, obviously, to incorporate this style, you should be using paper trading initially to figure out how the MACD jives with price action with these memes and with these heavily shorted names. And remember, technical analysis is a skill that is developed over time, and you need to get practice at it. So nothing really wrong with using some sort of learning device. Adair.
Yeah, practice makes perfect. How do you get to Carnegie Hall? Practice. Ooh. So shout out to practice. We're talking about practice? Yes, we are.
Talking about practice.
Also, I like that you mentioned respecting stops because I have a really sad trade to talk about, and I have a lot of conflicted feelings about, and that's what we're here to do and how to trade. Let's talk about my Tesla trade.
Oh my God,
so
you had the right idea.
I appreciate. I'll take it that way, right? Because I was so proud. I was building into this. I would have been $1 in the money. We dipped below.
Well, I don't care. I'm still hitting.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. This is Sharif and I are always like hyping each other up. We were talking about this earlier today about how important positivity is. But no, I do want to go back to this trade because I appreciate what you had to say about respecting stops. I think I needed to hear it. I had to respect my stop because we did have, like I said, you know, I was watching that 20 area. The 20 area was huge. We dipped below 20s. I had to get out. Then I turned back around and pushed back $1 higher. So maybe it's like, maybe the stop was too conservative. I don't know. I'm happy with where I put the stop. I thought it made sense for my style of trading. I should have given it to set 175s. I don't know, right? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. But thank you, Sharif, for shouting it out. I'm proud of the idea, and I'm going to stick with being proud of the idea. And I know, because I see this in the chat quite a lot, I'm aware my stops are pretty tight. I like to keep them tight because it does allow me to trade and scalp a little bit more to my freedom. So just before, because I know sometimes you get those comments, I think the issue is just, sometimes stuff happens and you're a little bummed out, but you can't get bummed out because we're going to have a good time here always on the show. And I can't be too upset. I am like almost 40 pennies in the money in NVDA. So I'm happy with this trade. Again, nothing like Sean's $20 plus trade on NVDA.
Yeah.
But
hold on. Don't tell her. Don't look at the chat. How much is he in the money now? Don't look at NVIDIA either.
25 to 8, 28?
Very close. $30. I told him to go home because he's making everybody look bad.
34.
I've got a correction. Since I spoke last, NVIDIA's $4 lower, so it's $34 of the money. We're spending the money for the Katina, man. Unreal day for this guy today. The confidence is gleaming. It's going. Shout out to the Katina, man. I mean, obviously, you know, we always look up to the Katina man, definitely on this desk, and I've been looking up to him for years. But shout out to him. One hell of a day and trading NVIDIA is already a clinic in and of itself. And to be $30 in the money, that's something else. So we want to shout him out, man. Great day for Sean. All right, let's get back into the trades over here. So we're still holding this Apple trade at 55s. It's obviously a range trade. I made that very clear before I started, but the range is getting a little bit tighter. So instead of waiting here and trying to be frugal, sitting at 90s, I'm going to sit at 80s for a beak wetter, and we'll look to get some out there. But now I'm still looking at Softy. I haven't forgot about what happened here on Microsoft because it's right at VWAP. And it's not breaking it with any aggression. It's above 23. I get it's above VWAP, but it's not, you know, that big move that we often expect with these type of names. So what I'm going to wait to see here is if we start getting that rounded top. Getting it on the back end, as Neil likes to say, you know, wait for that 1 or 2 candle to make a red and then look to get it down. So I'm not going to jump into the short here like I did with the 50 period, like I did with that 422.75, because it was a consolidation area low. I'm going to wait for confirmation this time. I'm not going to take an L on Microsoft, even though I didn't take an L on it last time because I wet my beak, but it was definitely not a well-executed trade. Let's call a spade a spade. So I'm still looking for short on the soft one. Let's see what this one gives me. What else we got going on? We haven't looked at these small cap gappers in a hot minute. What's going on now? Oh, I thought he was... This guy, unbelievable. Just keep hearing about his trade. All right, WISA. This has been having a great day, WISA. Look, this one hasn't respected VWAP though, so I don't want to trade it using my small cap gapper system. The small cap gapper system is super easy. Above the pre-market high, definable pre-market high, above the pre-market high, and above VWAP. This one, you can't trade it like that because it's had a great day, but it's shown you its propensity to respect the 20. It's done it here, here, and here. I don't know why, and I don't care. Whatever buy program may be programmed on the 20. I know the 20 can be something different on a higher time frame. So whatever the reason is, it's holding up there. I think I want some of the smoke. I'm going to get in here, and then I'll have a break of $3 as my line. It hasn't broken 3. So we'll continue to watch WISA. It's done really well today, up 55% off the highs, obviously. And just to remind you guys, it's about a $15 million market cap, having done 40.5 million shares on the day, and the float's 4.3 million. So let's keep an eye on WISA. Adara.
Yeah. So I made a choice, and that choice was to get involved with Lululemon. Now you might be like, Adara, why are you saying it like that? Lulu's not a bad stock. It's not. I said a dip buy because I was like, oh, I really like this level, and I'll probably forget to look for it. I get filled as we have this big sell-off here. Now you might be like, Adara, why didn't you get out? I had no reason to leave. It was still within my area. You want to give yourself a little bit more berth, a little bit more wiggle room for a Lulu. So I was going to give it about $1. Like, honestly, I want us to break into that 326.50s. That would be ideal for me. And I have no reason to leave this because we're still bouncing around. Now, I don't love this topping tail candle, of course, around the 90 MA. I do not love it. But I have no reason to leave because we are still pushing higher. I dislike the spread on this immensely. I can't even sit here and lie to you. The spread is meh. It's more spready than someone in their yoga pants doing a stretch. That's how big this spread is right now. That works better in my head. But we're going to have to see how this Lulu goes. Like, it's so spready that we're actually in the money on the sell side, but not the buy side. So
I hate that.
I really dislike that. But I don't dislike this trade. I got involved on, I wanted that dip buy in the 90 MA. So did I execute it perfectly? No. Nah, not at all. But I have no reason to leave, so I'm staying in it. Hopefully we're going to kick it in our yoga pants to the upside.
GameStop's moving.
Pardon?
GameStop's moving.
GameStop's
high day.
GameStop not move?
Oh, it's that high day.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
GameStop's always moving. But yeah, this NVDS, I'm still in. I will stay in it. I want to shout out Sean as well for his awesome trade. Mine is obviously very small potatoes compared to that. But you know what I'm noticing is I don't have a huge position to begin with. That's not why I'm adding. I always wanted to add. The initial plan was to add lower. We never had that opportunity. I'm noticing we keep bouncing off 63, so I'm going to add here. You might be like, Adara, way to mess up your average. Yeah, but I mean, if you like the trade, it shouldn't matter. It's like, if I have confidence in this, I don't know. Why not? So that's what I want to add in here. That was not super clear what I was trying to say here. But the point I'm trying to make is I do want to add, because I do have confidence in this level. I have confidence in this trade. And yeah, NVDS is like, yeah, you probably should have made that decision earlier. I'm going to keep grinding higher.
Nice.
Lulu in the money now, too. So please, this punch. I was a little bit down to the dumps about that Tesla, which, for the record, Tesla has continued to grind higher. But it's like, if you set risk management principles, you can't be upset about those.
No.
You might have to think about where I set it. It's also annoying because I think we were literally a penny away and then it bounced back up. But I can't be down in the dumps about respecting my plan. That's kind of a weird thing to do, isn't it? So just trying to be all smiles here, as we always are. And I do appreciate the conversation you and I had this morning about positivity.
Absolutely.
I think it's really important. And I think especially because trading can be so discouraging, we've got to be like Cyndi Lauper. Don't be discouraged. Let your true colors shine through. So yeah, nice look there. Darwin clarifying, this is a joke, but Darwin is saying in the chat as well, later said kidding, but took out a second mortgage to buy GME calls.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a pretty funny joke there, but also in all seriousness, risk management. Risk
Yeah.
management.
Guys, GameStop just went to like 11%, 35.20 is the HOD, I do believe, on the day. It did reject 35, but here we go again. 34.75 accumulation. Let's see what we get here. It's right back up into 35, so the volume is really picking up here on GameStop, and you can really see that reflected down here. GameStop just did in the last 5 minutes. Okay, I can't look it up here. What is it up? Is it up 11%? I may be able to see it on my. Yeah, give me a sec, because I want to be able to see the amount of volume in the last 5 minutes. It's not showing me. Sorry, guys, I'm just trying to find it here. Okay, I'll find it after, I guess. But right back into highs. Here it is, 35.20 again. GameStonk is going, baby. It's going places. It's up 11% again, and there's really no headline on it. All I'm getting are price spike updates, and that usually just comes when, yeah, you guessed it, the price spiked. So, hey? The Katina man is pulling his NVIDIA bid here. He wants lower. He was sitting at 85s, and it's at 87s. He's pulling his bid. He's looking for the lower. I like that. Shout out to the Katina man. That's the kind of confidence you have when you have a 30-some-odd dollar winner. Look at Softy down here. Wow, big rejection off the volume-weighted average price again. So I get a little bit of revenge there on the soft one. But, yeah, I shouldn't have had this trade over here. I should have listened to what Adara said. She said she needed to see more around there. So even though I was able to wet my beak, I did end up giving back quite a bit on that trade. But this time we get a lot more down off that big volume rejection on the VWAP right now, just holding a tiny bit off this level. That was a nice 50 penny winner. Super, super quick in the sim today, guys. I'm sorry for having bid in the sim the last week. It is not in my hands. I have been trying the back end off. I've been trying to get the back end office to speed things up. It doesn't work like that, sadly. So that is the situation I'm in. And again, Adara, I can't believe this. Look at this level on HOOD. 2260 keeps coming in and someone keeps buying it, but here's the thing, lower high, and you haven't made a higher high until you break this 2280 over here, or 2285 that is. So I'm thinking a possible flat bottom break could be coming through this 2260. And the reason I kept talking is because we got scolded by Ram for staying quiet when we hit the flat bottom break animation. That won't happen again, Ram, don't worry. So I'm looking for either we make a higher high by breaking this area over here on HOOD, or I'm anticipating a flat bottom break through that 2/3 of a dollar on HOOD, 5.25%. Nothing, you know, disrespect, but definitely off those highs. All right, waiting for the soft one to come and can continue back down. I'm looking for something in around 422. We definitely had support last time because I was short Microsoft last time, and the best it could do was that 422 touch. So this time I have a lot better of an entry point at 422.90. I want to wait to see if we can get something in or around 422, and then I might, you know, just hold a piece for the dream. GameStop, I see it, guys. Ash letting me know about GameStop. It's still there, guys. 35.20. Are you bearish on GameStop? Is that why you hit the bear? The market. The Katina man is bearish on the market, and good thing he pulled that bid because it's right there, baby. It is right there. Shout out to him. I'm talking about the NVIDIA bid. He was bidding to cover his short at 1185. He's since pulled that bid. He's waiting for lower. The market is headed down, Katina man, to 19 1/3. What an interesting day it has been today. I don't want to point this out, but did you see Tesla?
Yeah.
It's flying, Adara.
I was just going to say, I can't, I mean, shout out to Tesla, shout out to anybody who's long there, and I'm so proud of this level. Clearly, the idea was right, but my 100%. Stop was just wrong, and I can't even be that upset about myself for that. But also, I can't be that upset because Lulu's in the money, and BDS is in the money. You got to take that, to quote John Ralphio Saperstein, a.k.a. as played by Ben Schwartz on Parks and Rec, turn that frown upsidicity. So that's what you got to do here in this. He's a really funny character. It's one of my favorite fictional characters ever. Nice. But, you know, you got to just stay positive. As I know that sounds like a cliche, but it's like, I can't be upset about that. I got to find new opportunities. Obi always says, where's the next trade? That's what I had to do. The Lulu fill, as I said, I kind of forgot I had a dip buy, but I had no reason to leave because my level was still hitting. So I was like, Adara, stay in that thing. That's not the quote of the day, stay in that thing. I don't like that. But stay in that trade. I'm so sorry.
You're good, you're good.
But stay in that trade, Adara. Also, NVDS, I'm really proud of myself for not trying to get out here yet. I have no reason to leave yet. Every time we get into 42.69s or that 11.90-ish area, we just keep, you know, kind of coming right back up. If we break this 69 area, we might get lower. Like I said, I'm still partially tempted to add at 69s. Like it would mess up my average. That's not even the point. The point is just I don't want to add just so I can have more shares. You know what I mean? As Sharif says, you're always going to be a little bit grumpy or upset as a trader. So I can't let that, you know, get in my way of this trade. So Lulu, like if you want to curl higher at a faster velocity, I would love that. If you want to stretch a little bit more to the upside in your yoga pants, that would make me pleased as much. Shout out to Sharif. No, sorry, to Kyle, Big Kyle Burdett. This is directed for you.
Yeah, I was about to read it. Big Kyle, I know, right? Yeah. Big Kyle, 499 Sufat. Sharif, check messages for info on SPY trade today. First cover incoming. Big Kyle, you don't gotta tell me twice. We're gonna load up that real quick over here and give the peeps a peep of your SPY setup today. Big Kyle did send that to me. Give me 1 sec over here to load that bad boy up. As I tell you about that, let me tell you about this. We are still doing the dance here with Softy, but it is coming right back up after getting bottom wick. So 423 break, and that's the end of this trade. Not even gonna give it any room. It has to stay honest here. Here is one of Big Kyle's looks over here. This is the ES short. So let's have a look here. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to look at, oh, here it is. This is it. All right. So let me pull this up over here. Here's what he wrote. Have 75 put contracts for tomorrow, expire SPY strike 535. Looking for this bull flag on the ES 65-minute chart to fail. Today is my anniversary, 16 years. Dump it. Absolutely. Shout out to Big Kyle, man. He sent me pics, the little ones and the family. He's got a beautiful family. Shout out to you, Big Kyle. We're waiting for you here on this side. Get those the kiddos the passports so you can make it all the way up here. We're waiting for you, Big Kyle.
Yeah, shout out to Big Kyle Burdett, and I want to shout him out as well. I don't know, you know, if you saw this, but I do, like, again, I took a very teeny infinitesimal SPY short, but I was just really inspired by stuff that Kyle said in the chat, just like waiting for those pops and just shorting the pops. That's what I tried to do in the SPY. Should have been more on that, but, you know, maybe once we're done with Lulu and NVDS, then I'll get involved in that. But yeah, right now, nothing to report in either of those trades. Lulu, if you would like to have less of a spread, love that. I have no reason to leave this yet. What I want are 326.50s. I think it is feasible. I just think I'm going to have to really pack my patience to get there. But that's another reason I was part of my NVDL trade like yesterday. That taught me I do have the potential to pack patience. It's within me. I just have to like want it really hard. And I have no reason to not like this Lulu trade right now. Kind of wishing I had more shares right now because then I would have been able to piece out some of it. But it's like Adara. This level is, I think, physically possible. Don't leave yet. You have no reason to leave. If we bounce off that I like that 324.70 area. I saw what we did there. So if we even get a little bit lower, I'll add to this position. Trying to be more confident in my trades. As I say that Lulu gets lower. Lulu, that wasn't a request. That was just if you got lower. I was not Lulu. I'm just gonna, you know, do the old man finger at Lulu because I didn't love that. No reason to leave NVDS. Also no reason to leave Lulu, but like Lulu, I said if you got lower. I did not say when you get lower. So I'm going to stop yelling at Lulu like she's my child because that's kind of weird. Tesla's so nice, thanks, says Ike Anderson. Yeah, honestly, shout out to you. Like, I can't be bitter about this. Can just be happy to everybody who took that trade. And I'm really proud I called out that level. So shout out if you were able to get that 175.20 level and not get stopped out at 175.19 because you got involved a little too early. I wonder who that's about. Me. But yeah, all good. All good in the hood. Speaking of all good in the hood, are you still good in your hood?
Yes, but we're like literally waiting for that flat bottom break. I have like 2 more outs. The stop is in place. Anything happens on this one below 55s, that's the end of the trade. I'm actually long at 55, so it's perfect. I'm just going to give it a bit of buffer room to 55s. I know I said the break was 60, but I just don't want to be part of that specialist breakdown in case I get weaseled out and then it rocks back up again. It's going to have to obviously stay within 5 pennies because I won't put the stop any lower than that. I've been holding this Apple trade for umpteen amount of years, and it's been really doing, now as you guys can see it visually here, it really has been absolutely consolidative. Now we're talking about a 10 penny spread for the better part of, let's say, half an hour. And so, you know, it's not breaking up, breaking down, so nothing precipitating me out of the trade. I have to wait on that one. The other one, MSFT, got that 43 print, and then ever since then, it's been making highs. I de-risked the majority of the position already, so I only have a couple of beak wetters left. And so if this one breaks anything 5 cents higher than 423, we're gonna cut that one off. It won't, I'm not letting this go against me. It's just too strong off that 420 bottom. I think that the shorts here, if it doesn't continue down and show you it's trending, get out of Dodge, because it was a hell of a recovery. As you can see, it's an upside down Christmas tree there. V-shaped recovery on MSFT. Still technically red though, only a 0.25% in the red. To get green, to get into Greensville, it's got to break that 424 area. It's having trouble with 423. Let's hope it continues to have trouble with 423 so we can take this bad boy more south side. The other one, the Tesla, the Cybertruck, look at this topping tail candle through 177 2/3 and then down below 177 again. Let's see if we get a break below that level on a closing basis. It could be an interesting topping tail candle and a good short off that level. We'll have to wait and see. Wait for confirmation on that monster. The Cybertruck today, I mean, I don't want to call Tesla range bound, but it kind of is lately, Katina, man. Since the April 29th, it has been in this holding pattern, a couple of dollars here. It's been in about a $10 range, 170 to the south side. No, about a $15 range. 170 to the south side, about 185, 186 to the high side. It's not a bad range to play on a $180 some odd name, but in any event, it's been, you know, I was adding to this one in the 160s. I haven't added lately at all to my Tesla position. We'll have to wait and see. By the way, guys, I'm adding like 1 or 2 shares at a time now. I was adding 5 shares at a time, but I'm like, no, you're just getting too aggressive with it. You're not even really sure with the company. So I started adding much smaller amounts. So we'll see what Tesla gets. Just thought I'd talk about it off the cuff like that on a wider time frame. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Yeah, the soft one's making a move back into 423. So if that happens, that's going to be the end of the traded era.
Do not let the Tesla bulls on Twitter hear that you're not sure about the company.
Oh, well, no. I want to make my point very clear.
I'm also joking most of the time.
Very clear. I'm a big Tesla bull. What I'm talking about is a swing short-term trade. Yeah. I'm not trying to bet against Tesla at all. I'm an Elon fanboy. Joking, yeah, I'm an Elon fanboy.
Oh, I know you are, yeah. No, but I see what you mean. Like short term, there are definitely, like, I mean, you have that shareholder meeting coming up as well. There's definitely a lot of risks.
Interest rates, EVs, battery costs. So there's so many things. Right?
All that jazz.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know what is a little bit annoying is when I wanted to add into Lulu. I didn't want to add in at that price at Lulu. So this was a bit of a fat finger, but I honestly not upset about it. You know, obviously, do I love that average? Nah. But it's not about that. It's about I still feel confident in the trade. I'm not going to get out of this part of the trade. Like what would be the point? We're probably going to hopefully get our first peak wetter soon. Then we're going to keep that piece for the dream, for the breakout. Still happy I added. It is what it is. Also NVDS, this was a planned addition. Now, obviously, again, this, like, if you're talking about your average cost basis, I added, I averaged up. But why I did that was because I said, Adara, if you look at NVDA here, and we will now, we're kind of ranging. I said, Adara, get out. I have a really small position in this to start with. So I said, Adara, get out your initial position, take like whatever, your 50 pennies in the money, and then switch to range trading it off of 42.63. So that is what, in fact, I am planning on doing here. I don't know if I'm going to get that beak wetter, so we might have to change things up a little bit. I'm going to try going for 73s. That would be the plan here, but I'm still confident in this trade. I have no reason to leave yet. I just wanted to address that is how the plan is switched up on that. We did get part of that position out on Lululemon, so no sour lemons here. When life gives you lemons, make Lululemonade. And I say like lemons because this Tesla, this was kind of a lemon for me trading-wise. You know what I mean? That the stop loss wasn't where it should have been. I got a little bit messed up. It's all good, but you just have to keep, going. You have to keep finding, I was gonna say finding things to live for, but that's so dramatic. Finding trades that make sense for you, right? So if I'm doing that, why am I upset? What the heck am I so upset about? I was already in NVIDIA, or NVDS, sorry, which I'm using to short NVIDIA. I was already in NVDS and in the money when that happened. So it's like, wasn't like it was a be-all, end-all. You just can't let each individual trade get you down. I will stop being a motivational speaker for a second here. I apologize. GME won't stop, says Thed G. Let's take a look at this GME once again here. quickly, and then we'll look at another popular retail favorite, Scott Edwards mentioning this Mara. This is a great look on GME. I mean, I have no words, but I do have one level, that's going to be 34. Look at that resistance at 34, then we bounce off 34. I think 34 is a great level here for GME, and I think if we keep bouncing there, I'm not sure if the games will stop. Let's look at Mara. Scott Edwards saying thoughts on Mara at this level? Yeah, I mean, let's see what kind of thoughts I have on Mara at this level, if any. Let's see what Mara, okay, Okay, I'm gonna be honest, Scott Edwards, I don't know if this is what you're gonna wanna hear. I see Mara as a short. Why do I see Mara as a short? We're down to the day. We had a massive amount of these topping tail candles here to 2210s. Then we continue to kind of go a little bit lower here, rejecting off the 9 EMA, rejecting. And now look at this level we're rejecting. That's right, it's that pre-market support, even a little bit actually into the open. The support we got around 10 a.m., that's gonna be 2089. I'm gonna be honest with you, Scott Edwards. I think Mara does look like a short right now. I have no reason for this to continue to look like it's moving upwards. That's my take on it though. Regardless, whatever trade you are in on MARA, I hope you print. And for levels for this, if we break higher, I would just be watching every rejection. So if we break above, see what you do at 2110, see what you do with that previous support at 2140. Hope that helps. Scott Edwards saying agreed, okay. Pleased to hear it. But yeah, I always just want to be honest and give my take on the chart. Again, never advice, just what I'm seeing on the charts. I do want to look at PLTR. PLTR is rangy. Some people were mentioning PLTR earlier. I apologize. I wasn't able to look at this one for a little while, but we do have this range, this chop and turn, this bounce here at VWAP. But look where we're rejecting. That's right, 2350. PLTR honestly might even make me pull up a side chart for it. That's how good this looks. Shout out to anybody involved in this name. I think there were some great trades available on PLTR. I also, I do want to shout out Lululemon again because I'm really proud. I mean, obviously I was like grumpy about the level at which I added, but I'm still happy I added to this trade. I want a 327 break. I don't know if that's crazy, but that is really what I want here in Lululemon. Happy I already got out part of the position, $1 in the money. Hopefully we can keep going, make some more profit on the Lulu, the lemon. And, you know, I was saying too, like, when life gives you lemon, Sharif, sometimes you have to make Lulu lemonade.
I agree.
So there you go.
Get it.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Good. Right back in that softy short. I got stopped out for the remaining amount, but I still think it's valid. Let's go ahead and put that out at the $0.25. And we'll cover everything at the third of $1. So I'm going to put that there, and then I'm going to put beak wetters. Let's put the beak wetter here. Where are we short? We're short at 98. Okay. All right, so we're going to sit in and around this area over here. That's wrong one there. Fat finger mistake. That's all good. There we go. Okay. Can I? Yeah, that's fine. No, that's fine. You're good to go there. I'm just putting in my stops. Sorry about that. All right. Let's see what else is moving. Another couple of topping tail candles here on Tesla, but it didn't tank. But yeah, there's something going on here. 177 and 2/3. There's definitely a seller of sorts in and around that area on Tesla. That's very interesting. You know, this candle hasn't closed yet. I realize that. This candle is a candle of indecision, a tug of war between buyers and sellers, essentially. It's a doji. And this candle looking awfully topping tailish, inverse hammer candle. Let's see how it closes. But something at this level here on TSLA, unsure exactly how to play this, but we shall see. So I do have to adjust my stop on the soft one. Oh, wow. Softy's going to stop me out, man. Softy just keeps getting more strong and more strong. What is happening over here? All right, so the soft one's going to stop me out. We're going to end up, are we going to go red on this? What's the situation? No, we're still okay with soft one. All right, so I'm going to pack my patience over here, but we're about to lose 25 pennies just like that on Microsoft as it does break above that level, and there it is. So we get stopped out of Softy. Unbelievable. Now it's time to flip long here on Softy, at least into 424. That's where the closing print is on MSFT. Disappointed in myself in this. I did actually go red on it, full disclosure, on this last move up, but we'll have to figure something out here. MSFT bamboozling me. All right, Apple, we're doing well on this one, though. There it goes through the top, 195.90. So we get all three beak wetters in a row there that we had lying down. And here comes 196. So let's sit at 99s for that 196 take or reject. We'll see what we get there. Apple just marginally green. To go green, it had to break above 195.87. It's done that. It's at 96s. Here comes 97s. The dead one moving midday, baby, as it breaks out of that range and is now above VWAP. VWAP was at that 80 penny area. Let's see if it can take 196 though. And it doesn't seem like Apple was running on this own because Softy and Apple kind of look like they moved together. Yeah. What's up? So NVIDIA did break 1183.20. Katina Man is a $40 in the money. That one moving absolutely inverse to everything else, and then it moved up $10 in 1 second. Yeah, that's the way it is. That's the way it could. Yeah. Shout out to the Katina man. It takes takes definite patience and conviction to hold on to something for a $40 winner. Let's just call a spade, right? Yeah. So that's the look there. But a good, NVIDIA popping up $7 in a matter of seconds here. It's just quite ridiculous. So that's the look there.
Yeah, and I do want to shout out Sean's confidence because I mean, it's still in the NVDS, obviously not a $40 winner, not even a 40 penny winner, but I do, and I want to say, I know Sean was saying that, he's like, everyone can have confidence, but the reason I call it confidence is because I think Sean, the level of confidence you have is, I think, contagious, and it shows, if you have an idea, you owe it to yourself to stick through it, and that's a huge thing I've learned from you, so I really honestly want to say that. And I think that energy is contagious. You see it in the chat every day. But also, that gave me confidence or confidence as well to stay in this. I didn't panic sell. I wanted my 43 breakout on NVDS. And if I didn't get it, I was like, you know what, Adara, wait. I still think we could break a little bit lower. I don't love, mind you, that NVDA is pushing above here. I'm going to wait and see what we do with this 90 MA. But, as Sharif said, Sean had the confidence to just stay in this trade. So it's like, what? If I like the trade still, why don't I stay as well? And again, I'm not staying just because Sean is still in it. I'm staying because I still like these levels. I still like what I have.
GameStop's flying, Adara. 14%. There goes. We just broke through 36. 36.46 high of day. GameStop is really going, and the volume is picking up big. It's now done 47 million shares today, and it's up 14%. So something's afoot with GameStop here. So for all my meme people, here it is, guys. GameStop is moving. Let's have a look at some of the other memes. Let's see if they're moving. Okay, in sympathy, some of them are green. They're definitely not where GameStop is, certainly. You have AMC up 2 1/3. Carvana's up 1 1/3. We're not getting too much in the way of movement except for GameStop. It really is a GameStop story. It's up 110% on the year, guys. So GameStop is back for now. Anyway, moving right back up 15 1/3%. This is it, guys. This is kind of the thing that really had everybody interested in 2022 when these meme names move. So yeah, this is what we did the lesson on today. And look out for MACD. Try maybe now it's like the idea to try using your MACD, try using your RSI, see how it jives. But this thing is absolutely pumping to the high side. Great day for the meme names. There goes 16%. It looks like it's on its way to $37. And if you want to hear the big kahunas talk about GameStop, then this is what you're going to do. You're going to get into the chat right now. You're going to hit !join space and the $sign and type in GME right after that $sign to let the big kahunas know that you want them to chart it. You want them to give you their levels. If they've traded, they'll tell you exactly how they trade it. Every day from 2 to 2:30, you can have your say. Get in the chat, !join space $sign and the ticker of said choice. Great move up right there. Now, the market also made a move up, no question about that, right back into VWAP and yesterday's closing print. So the market looks like it has intentions possibly of going green on the day down now, only 0.01% to go green. It's got to get above that 19 3/4 area because that's where we closed out yesterday. VWAP like 2 or 3 points above that level. So it's nice confluence between those two areas of technical resistance. We'll see if that area is just a plot on the chart or an actual area where the price action of the future holds up. Great move up there. Let's see the dead one. Let's see if it printed me at that level. Let's find out. No, we're still destined to go unprinted here at 99s, 195.99 on AAPL as it's marginally green now, 0.04% in the green. There's some stuff happening here, guys. Meta just broke through VWAP. on the way at 498. Microsoft is well above VWAP. You see NVIDIA and how it recovered off that 1183. It's $11 higher now. You have Tesla that just printed high a day, a skosh below 178. You also have Amazon curling right back up and starting to put in that rounded bottom. It's not at highs, but it's on its way into that, at least that $0.50 level, looking to break out of this range that we've been in for the last hour and 20 minutes on AMZN. So good look here for the Mag 7 names. They're all moving. And every time I see a topping tail candle come in on Tesla, it makes incrementally higher lows. So forget about my topping tail analysis today. It looks like the Cybertruck on the way to that 178 break and take possibly here or there.
Tesla did not want me in this Cybertruck. That was like literally Tesla just wicked that set below and I got out. It literally reminds me of like, you know, when you were saying the Tesla Cybertruck, like they don't let you see inside, they don't open the doors. That was me, except the doors closed in my face on that long initially. Like I said, honestly, not upset about it because that allowed me to take my Lululemon. I just think sometimes things are funny and you kind of have to laugh at them. Sure. Because is it not like literally getting wicked out by a cent and then it going up like multiple dollars? I gotta laugh. Okay. I think that's what positive, you gotta be a positive force here. Also, IWM, if you wanna be a force to the downside, sorry for the chair sliding there, I just get really excited about these markets. That's why I talk so fast too. You know, I see like, oh, she's really confident. I really am just so excited by these markets. And that's why, you know, if I'm yapping quickly, it's because I gotta keep up with all these markets. IWM short. Why? Because, sorry, that was really abrupt. Because we kept having lower highs. I love this little 90 MA rejection, 203.40s. This is really tight risk. I got involved 203.38s. I was going to see what we did at 204.45s. Sorry, not 204. That would be insane. 203.45s. I was not risking over $1. I was risking like less than 10 cents, to be clear. But if we break below 30s, I will be getting out. This was a scalp. It's just about finding levels you like. And again, I'm not trying to find ranges where they aren't there. I was a little bit concerned because we had a slightly higher low, but I was like, Adara, you like this look. It's what I always tell myself is if you're gonna regret not taking it, that's a trade that I think is worth taking. And so that's something I wanted to do. We're out. Please just punch. We're going to move on to the lesson of the day, but I want to quickly talk about Lululemon because I am out of that trade. It did break higher, but I'm happy with what I did with it. So Lululemon, I said I wanted to see 327s. I got out at 327.20s. I'm really proud. Got out for the first part of my position, $1 in the money with that piece. And I'm splitting it up by the parts of the position because I took out like exactly half. You know what I mean? So it's like I know exactly at what point I got out which part. So I got out, I think, what was this? This is like $1.25 first part of the position, $1.50 second part of the position. Please just punch. Lulu is my strongest name in the day. I think there still are dip buy opportunities, but I don't want to jump in all willy-nilly. Just, you know, I don't want to, if I feel confident about it, I'll get in, but I don't want to get involved just to get involved, you know what I mean? So happy with that. NVDS, if you keep having levels around this 42.50, which for reference for NVDA, it's going to be this 11.95, that could be spicy for me. Sean, are the bears still roaring? Oh, he's out of NVIDIA, but now he's involved in SMH. Hopefully he's shaking his head at how many profits he is getting on that SMH, or how much profit. Oh, I like this level.
We got a pushback. That's two pushbacks today, guys. We need a pushback counter. Maybe we can get Ram to hit like a pushback
I don't want to copy Sean straight here, but I'm going to put this on my side chart because I mean, I think this 252, 251.87, just because I saw that support and resistance flip-flop, and that's what I saw, and I was like, I think that's a nice look. Shout out to Sean, who is in the money, and this is actually going on my side chart. Move aside, Lulu. Put those yoga pants in the laundry bin for now. But you know what we are? That was a weird analogy. But you know what we're ready for? Always? Short squeeze. Lesson of the day. Chee. And if you have anything that you want to look at, short squeeze or otherwise, any names, you know what to do. You're going to go to our chat right now. You're going to go ! Join, space, $, GME, NVIDIA, Tesla, Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Amazon, Google, Apple, any ticker you want. I love it. You have to. This cuts off at 1:50, so you have a cool 41 minutes, like the length of an old episode on television. If you watch dramas, you have 41 minutes to get that ticker in there, and then you will see the mustachioed man to my right on that green screen. He will be giving you all of the, the mustache does not speak on its own, unfortunately, but Sharif
doesn't. Yeah,
not yet. Not yet. But anyways, yeah, no, all love for the mustache. Just shouting out the mustache
Before you start the lesson, I just want to let GameStop's going, guys. All right, it's 17.5%. It's on its way to 38. It just went to 37 3/4. Be on the lookout. GameStop's moving.
Also, yeah, we're gonna get to the lesson. I also just saw Brandon Townsend in the chat. Thank you so much for the kind words. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at calls and also just trying to find trades that work for me. So really appreciate that shout out there. Hope you were having a great day trading, everyone here in this lovely, supportive chat. What about short squeezes? That was a transition. Well, meme stocks, a lot of these are going to be fueled by some social media friends, like maybe some kittens are roaring, perhaps, stuff like that. You know what I mean? They can be really hot, but they can also be pretty risky. So we're going to explore how the MACD, or the moving average convergence divergence indicator, can be used to identify potential entry and exit points for intraday meme stock trades. But remember, as always, this is just going to be a tool. It's not going to be a rule. And so sound investment decisions always require further research. I almost said further investment. I was like, that's an accidental pun, too on the nose for me. What about MACD? What is it? Well, it's a momentum indicator, and it measures the difference between two moving average of a stock's price, and there's three parts to it. So you've got your MACD line. This is going to represent the difference between a 12-period exponential moving average, or an EMA, and a 26-period exponential moving average, or EMA. Now, what's the signal line? This is a 29-period EMA of the MACD line, so it smooths out any fluctuations you have in those lines, because we know the markets love fluctuating. NVIDIA. Now, what about the MACD histogram? This will show the difference between the MACD line and the signal line, and it visually represents the relationship between your two moving averages. Oh, this is funny. Eddie R is saying, oh, is the MACD a new McDonald's burger? LOL, just kidding. Shout out to you, Eddie R. Great participant in the chat, and I got a kick out of that. And you guys know how I feel about puns, so I want to shout that out. Shout out to MCD, which is the ticker for McDonald's, but it is not MACD, unfortunately. Here's a MACD chart. Thank you to Sharif for putting together these lessons, putting these charts in here. So you can see you've got your 26-period EMA minus, sorry, your 12-period EMA minus your 26-period EMA, and then your MACD signal line, which is going to be your 9-period EMA of your MACD, and the histogram, which is the MACD minus the signal line. Lots of fun little math. What about MACD signals for memes? So for volatile meme stocks, what you're looking for is a crossover between the MACD line and the signal line. In a bullish crossover, you're going to want to see the MACD line cross above that signal line. So the MACD line is quicker, the signal line is a little bit slower, and that will suggest increasing momentum because you get the fast line running. It's like go gadget. It's Sonic the Hedgehog. It wants to go even faster. And so that could signal increasing momentum and a potential buying opportunity. It could also be a sign that the stock is about to climb higher intraday. Bearish crossover as well. So conversely, when the MACD line falls below the signal line, that is going to suggest weakening momentum and a possible selling point. This stock might be due for a little bit of a pullback. Here's one example too. You have your crossover here and your MACD and your signal line, and then you have a bit of a pullback in the markets. Then you see the cross right itself, and then we have a move back up. So nice little example there. What about divergences? Divergences can be useful for meme stocks, and this is when the price movement is going to contradict the MACD indicator. Bullish divergence is when the price makes a lower low, but the MACD makes a higher low. This suggests a potential trend reversal upwards despite a little dip in the price that you may see. Now, what about bearish divergence? Well, this is when the price makes a higher high, but the MACD makes a lower high. So this suggests a possible trend reversal to the downside despite the price increase. Now, look at the GameStop. Look at the GameStop story of our lives, but look at this GameStop chart that Sharif put in here with the MACD, and thank you for that. We have the higher high and a break of support, but at the same time, bearish divergence showing we actually have a lower high with a support break. That's when you got your signal line crossover, broken support becomes resistance, one of our favorite things to look for at the How to Trade desk, and then we break to the downside. Also, I'll answer your question in a minute, but I'm going to finish this lesson first because I do want to talk about that. But now what about confirmation and risk management? So you want to remember, MACD is just one singular indicator. You want to look for confirmation from other technicals like high volume during a crossover, or high volume during a bullish crossover, or falling volume during a bearish crossover, because volume is a huge example of a way to look at interest. If you've got a lot of volume, you've got a lot of people interested, a little bit less volume, that could be a sign things are turning bearish, and maybe those bulls are getting a little bit bored. Now, also, you always want to make sure you're setting stop loss orders to limit potential losses, especially with meme stocks. Of course, stop losses can stop you from potential profit opportunities. I've been yapping about that Tesla, but also can prevent you from losses, and that's what you have to focus on there. What about, we're going to have some water. What about practicing and further researching? We love practice here. You might want to use a paper trading account to practice using the MACD with meme stocks. This will help you to understand how that indicator reacts to different price movements. Now, what about, remember, you also wanted, sorry, I got confused there. Remember as well, technical analysis is a skill that requires time and practice to develop, and that's why you want to do your own research on the company's fundamentals before investing in any meme stock. MACD can be a helpful tool, but you want to make sure that you are using it in conjunction with other tools. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just watching GameStop absolutely flush off that 37 3/4, and then all the way down to 36. I see some price action support at 35.50. There was some accumulation in and around there. Let me just show you exactly what I'm talking about by bringing it up. That's WISA, by the way. WISA is not tradable on the VWAP system right here, as you can see, a little bit above, a little bit below. But that's neither here nor there. This is the GameStop level that I'm liking. Now, you got double bottom off 36 right now, so there could be respect here for the whole dollar level. This candle held up at 36, and there you go. This one did as well. This one got into 36.07 and right back into the 50s, low 60s we go on GME. Look, I was looking for price action support, and that's what I saw over here. I saw a bunch of these topping tail candles or candles that held up at that 35.5. It also kind of jived with the 50, not like I'd really want to trade this off the 50 all that much, even though there was decent respect with the 50 today and GameStop. In any event, the order's already out. I put in an order for 35.55 to see if this price action area support holds. Right now, it's the whole dollar level at 36 doing the work for the longs by keeping this monster up above that $36 level. So we'll wait and see whether or not that 35.55 gets triggered, and not in that new fun way, in like the actual order way. So we'll see exactly what we get there. The dead one is on its way back into the grave. It just came right back down off that 196.07 touch right over here, right back below the whole dollar level, and right in back into the top end of the range. That top end of the range that we were basically in forever ends at the $0.75. So I want to see, does Apple now hold up at that $0.75? If it does, and it gives me that 5-minute candle to close green at $0.75, I'm going to add to this position. So we'll see exactly what we get, and we won't get upset at this level no matter what comes. Anyway, this is the area that I'm looking at here, and it's dancing at it right now. It's not about getting to the area, it's about holding up at the area, so I got to pack my patience a little bit. Yeah, this is why I didn't take it out on Hood. Unreal recovery on Hood. I can't believe that this 60 penny area, boo, Neil? Oh, Hood, I thought someone said boo.
Boo.
Yeah, so did I. 22.60 held once, twice. You know what I'm going to say next. Obi thrice, but there was 4, 5, 6, and 7 holds at 22.60. There was clearly a buyer there. I don't need to look at the book in order to know that. The chart represents that manifestation quite succinctly. We'll look now for another high day touch. Somebody in the chat was asking me, what are you doing with your Hood position? I said, quite honestly, I was looking for a flat bottom break through that 22.60. A last one did not come. So now the plan has to change. And what is the plan? To look for an HOD break. That HOD is hanging out at the 16 penny level or thereabouts. HOOD getting a great move up today off that announced acquisition of Bitstamp, $200 million all cash acquisition to grow their crypto portfolio. There are headwinds for these type of names. I'm talking about the Coinbases and the Binance. Well, Binance is a private company, but the other hoods. The SEC still wants to categorize and classify a lot of the coins that they have on their exchange system as securities. That makes them a securities dealer and subjects them to all sorts of different regulation. It is an election year. If the Republicans win, that may not be the case. If the Dems win, then we're probably going to see the continuation of that kind of SEC move. We'll have to wait and see what we get. but you need to know about that if you're gonna, punch long into this for the long term. You should be aware of that. So anyway, hood on the way up into high a day again. Ram. It just broke through 23, so we'll have to wait and see what we get. Back into Apple here, because it's the other trade that I have on. It's breaking down now, and now it's broken down below 75. So the dead one is on its way back down. And I promise you one thing, not one penny of this trade is going to go against me. I'll get out at 55s if we get down. But I was looking to add, funny enough, at 75 because I thought it would hold up at the top end of the consolidation. That didn't happen, so I have to revisit my plan. Let's go back to GameStonk over here. Right back into high a day is GameStop. Unbelievable. There it is, 19%, 36 holds. The price action area or price action support area that I talked about meant bupkis to this name. It's at new high a day, 20% now for GameStop. Roaring Kitty apparently is gonna set up some sort of meeting on YouTube, apparently June 7th, this or that, I'm not sure. Let me know in the chat, guys, exactly what he said. I know I saw some of you guys write that in there, but it is your day today to have your say. Make sure you're getting your vote on right now. If you want to see Neil and Sean analyze GameStop, go in and vote for it right now. Enter that trigger, exclamation point, join, space, $, and GME for the ticker. No spaces between the exclamation point and the word, but there is a space between the join word and the $.
Yeah, I'm getting out of NVDL about 75 pennies in the money. Honestly, I was not prepared for that to move as quickly as it did. I was just dawdling around with Tesla. Then I turned around and I'm like, oh, NVDL is above 67, huh? So I got out some of the profit. I don't mean to sound so aloof, but I want to be clear. I'm very grateful and I did want this trade. I just want to clarify, it moved way faster than I wanted it to. Just because I don't want it all to seem like I'm ungrateful, whatever. I'm proud of this trade. I'm proud of what I did in it. And I also want to talk about some levels in NVDL that we can extrapolate to NVDA. Also, shout out, thank you, Easy Trader, for the compliment for this trade. But basically, I was watching what we did at 40s. That was the real thing I wanted to see. Because look at the top and turn we had at 40s. And in case NVDA, what was that level? That level was going to be about 1190 or 1199s. So it was going to be about that level there. We didn't really top and turn. We kept pushing forward. The reason I got out where I did is because I didn't like that we had that rejection around that previous support area, 67.70s. I'm almost positive that it's going to be that 1205. Yes, it is. It's about 1203, 1205 here on NVDA. So I'm really proud of this trade. Really proud of just kind of trying to keep with it, you know what I mean? Also, I want to mention Ike Anderson. I do not want to neglect your question. You asked why I got out of Lulu. I got out of Lulu, honestly, because that was the plan for the trade. I wanted to see my 327 break. I got my 327 break, and I didn't want to stay any longer than that. You know what I mean? I think if you have a plan for a trade, you have to adhere to that plan. And so that was the plan for this Lulu. And that NVDS, that was also, I mean, I'm happy I added. I don't have any regrets about this. I'm still positive of the same. Happy I stuck with the strategy I needed to stick with for this NVDS. But I have to say, like, you know, me adding in might have been a little bit more hopium than any actual belief. Like, I was like, oh, we got to 43. We'll definitely get back to 43. Again, I managed it okay. We broke below the 90 EMA. I got out. Again, no regrets on that. Happy with how I played the trade. But I just think it's important. That's why it's important to have your plan and stick to that plan and respect that. So yeah, really happy with what happened here. I'm going to stop yapping. Is Palantir still going? Because I know some people mentioned Palantir earlier. Palantir, clear of its range. Look at that VWAP bounce.
Unreal.
This was also, I know you were up for this, but I had a chair pullback moment for that range as well earlier.
Oh, I didn't even trade this today.
But look at this, look.
Oh, it's fantastic.
No, I was just saying that was a chair pullback.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. I was like, that could be a range. Happy I didn't trade it as a range. Palantir was like, Idera, what are you talking about? So yeah, happy I Palansteered Palantir.
Did you say Idera?
I
like
didn't.
You Idare?
I didn't. Oh, I've gotten that a lot. Truthfully.
Have you?
Yeah.
So I just thought I was onto something there.
No,
I really wasn't.
No, but the Idare I have not gotten yet.
No?
Yeah, no.
Calm down, Ram. Jeez, $38 for GameStop.
Yeah, I was going to say, someone was saying focus on GME, Tobes.
Yeah, so I want to mention, this is what people are saying about Roaring Kitty. Apparently he's going to have a sesh tomorrow on YouTube. Yeah, well, not that kind of sesh, Ram. June 7th at 12 p.m. That's what people are saying. Shout out to Darwin. He's scheduled to go live tomorrow at noon on YouTube. Shout out to Darwin and to, I believe, okay. Yeah, all right. That's a great name. That's a great name, but I'm not going to read it out loud. All right. So Apple broke down right into my area at here it is, 195.55. I got out because I said I would not allow this to go against me. I have another order to defend the lower end of that area in mid-40s. We'll see whether Apple can continue to range as it has been all day. I'm going to look to get long again at the bottom end of the range. But Hood right back into high day, just printed 23.15. Watch out for the double top now, okay? We know we topped out at 16s last time. This time around, the best print's been 16. Not saying it's going to double top here. I'm just on the lookout for the double top. That's all. Here comes 16s. Now we're getting 16 prints on the ask. There is 17. Can we get 18? We got 18. Can we get 20? Let's see. We got some size here at 20, so we have some decent lottage over here at that 23.20 area. We'll see if it can continue up, but what a recovery. There it is. Go, Hood, go, baby. We got 23.20 prints right now. It was a great defend off that 22.60. I think my only mistake in this trade is not having added at 22.60, but I got to tell you the truth. I really did feel that it was going to give way there, and the reason was that feeling was quite palpable was because we kept making all these lower highs. Even though we would get bounces off 23.60, we would continue to make lower highs. And so I was like, okay, this is looking like an awfully good flat bottom break. That didn't happen. So there it goes to show you it's a lesson in confirmation bias. I guess that's kind of what I'm trying to say there. Anyway, it's hanging out at high days. I have no plans other than to hold on to it. Tesla is just absolutely flying. So when we talked about the Zon being the best performer on the day for the longs in the Mag 7, we're standard corrected because, well, it's now Apple. I mean, it's now the Cybertruck. It's TSLA up 1.82, looking to go more, baby. And we could easily see a pivot touch over, or pivot resistance touch at that 178.50. We've already printed 178.25 on TSLA. It's been a great move up for that name on the day. Let's see what else. Goggles. Goggles has awoken. Okay, so Goggles right back into 176.90. This is where everybody and their mother's third cousin was shorting this morning. The IB high takes us just a smidge above 177 into 177.15s. But look at the umpteen amount of topping tail candles we had into resistance level 1 on pivots. We're there right now. 176.90. You could do any number of things here. You could get short right now, keep a tight stop, perhaps maybe even give it to 15s for a high day break, or you could wait for topping tail candle to come in, or wait for it to curl back down, getting it on the back end. As Neil likes to say, wait for a couple of red candles to manifest. But this is an important level here on Google because of the amount of rejections we got on the 5-minute look today, right at that level. Let's go back to GameStop because I see from the side chart that it's moving, and it certainly is, guys. 22%, forget about 38, that's gone. It's a 38.54 HOD now. GameStop's going. This thing is really moving here at Dara. If you guys want to hear about GameStop, you want to hear about the Katina man looking at all the NVIDIA trades that he's had today, but most notably, if you want his analysis on GameStop, get into the chat right now. Make sure to vote every day from 11 to 2 a Dara.
Yeah, the Shim King saying, actually, I guess, foreshadowing the person we're going to have coming on. And again, I want to shout out, thank you so much, Obi, for covering for me while I am on my little my long weekend. But also, I want to shout out the Shim King saying, GameStop through 38. Oh boy. So yeah, we got a lot of that happening. Also, Amazon, to have another OP-related transition here. I did like that Amazon range. I like that we're bouncing off VWAP. I actually also love this not the 90 MA. Adara, not everything's the 90 MA. But no, I like this wick into VWAP, having that rejection as well. And this is right at that 182.95. I like that look, continuing to curl higher. Not one I have a read on, but I mean, okay, actually, never mind. I said not one I actually do have a read on this. Okay, I love resistance support flips. I love we had this consolidation in the 5-minute chart, 183.40, right? We have that top. Then we come, rejected again, doesn't work. Rejected again, doesn't work. Now it's support. This 183.40 could be spicy, but we do have some topping tail candles to be aware of. So going to be watching out for Amazon. Also want to talk about Tesla. Tesla, obviously, I did not stay in this long for a long time. It was a short long for me. The reason I got out of this where I did was A, I just wasn't feeling super confident in the trade with all of these topping tail candles. The breakout wasn't coming with the swiftness that I wanted, and that's definitely my fault. Also, I was definitely trying to manage my NVDL, so I was like, Adara, too many cooks in the kitchen, pick one, and I chose Gordon Ramsay, NVDL. Don't know why they made that analogy. But yeah, Tesla, I have this line drawn here, a literal line drawn in the sand. I love these areas of resistance earlier. If we have a nice firm bounce around 77s, I have 67 written down, but if I get 177, 77s, I like that look. Also, now we have Tesla breaking back above 178. I'm not going to get my dip buy, but nice look here. Shop is green now, says Fennel Shot. What a day we've had. That Shopify, which was on the downgrade side of things this morning, shout out to Sharif for putting those together, is now green on the day. Shopify as green as its logo now. Literally just got green on the day. Look at these VWAP bounces. Shout out to you, Fennel, for pointing this one out to us. Totally forgot about this name. There's just been so many catalysts and so many things moving today. But you know what was always a good look? It's good to be in the hood.
One sec, I just have to mention, I'm messaging Brendo, yeah.
No problem. But yeah, I will continue yapping then. If you want to see Sharif on the green screen, if you want to see the big kahunas looking at tickers of your choice, you know what you have to do.
Yeah, sorry.
You go in the chat right now. You go exclamation point, join, space, $, the ticker of your choice. John H. saying, yeah, I think that's more of a Jamie Oliver. Maybe it is. I really use the Gordon Ramsay analogy. Maybe Jamie Oliver. Maybe Joe Bastianich, the very saucy man from MasterChef who's always getting his mom to judge with him. I don't know. Maybe NVDL is that guy. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
But the point is, what I'm trying to say is I did choose a cook in the kitchen. I gave up the Tesla long too early, but I'm not going to regret it. Happy with what I did. And I don't have any trades right now. I don't want to force myself into anything I'm not obsessed with. That being said, sock sell. If you want to reject VWAP and have lower highs, who am I to stop you? Who am I to stop you, sock sell? I'm no one to stop you. So we're gonna risk into 60s. We're gonna try to get in 49s. 10 penny risk. I can live with that. And yeah, so hopefully we're gonna pull up our socks, get into that sock sell short. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm just watching this Google break through that level that we were talking about today. So yeah, some definite nice moves here on the Mag 7 names. I was thinking goggles short at this level, Ram. 177-ish area, but it's really breaking there decidedly. Now look at it's coming right into high of day. Here comes about 5 or 10 pennies away from the high of day at the moment. So we'll see exactly what we get here. Google's making a move. Tesla's making a move. Not really getting much in the way of a move from Apple. It's been a range trade, which has been okay. The rounded bottom on Meta, though, is awfully nice here. I do anticipate possibly some resistance at 500, even though we were able to get well above that today at 502.82. So good look on Meta here. In fact, I like that look so much. I'm going to try to get in off the 10 period here on a retracement. Now, this one, it might go without me, though. That's the thing. Yeah. All right, well, it's probably time we talk about GME, though. Yeah, look, guys, I'm not going to trade GME, but I'm going to look at it for you because I know it's very important to everybody in the chat. I see you guys. I see everybody's talking about it. AMC's moving now, too. It's not just GME. So here we go. AMC's getting a bump right into high of day. It's at 5 2/3 right now. It's up 8 3/4. It's doing its thing as well. Let me bring in the memes over here. So you have GME, AMC over here. You have costs, all right? Costs is starting to do, but the volume on costs is crap. It's 308,000 shares, but it is also another meme name as well. But be on the lookout. These guys are moving, and once they move, they really move here, guys. So 39.50 HOD right now on GME, up 25%. It was a midday move, really being probably spurred by the announcement of Roaring Kitty that he will have some sort of live tomorrow on YouTube. It's said, we'll see whether or not, it's going to be a Sell the News event on Monday. I'm also anticipating another Sell the News event on Monday on Apple. And I will be getting very ready with my orders layered to pick up Apple because I'm anticipating, again, a big red day of sorts on either Monday or Tuesday for AAPL as people look to wet their beak on some of this move. All right, I was just saying going long Meta here because of the rounded top, but I'm starting to see possible resistance over here at the 499 area, and now this topping tail candle doesn't look all that good. I'm going to pack my patience. It looks as if definitely you could have had something off the 50 over here, so maybe I'll have to wait for that. Otherwise, I'm just going to stay put and keep an eye on GME to see if I can have a trade on that.
Nice. Yeah, hopefully that you can get game started with GameStop.
Game started.
Also, I hope that those prints are red delicious. You can pick up some more Apple trades. Yeah, I've got to get the puns in before I leave, guys.
There you go.
But yeah, this Sox L, I have a feeling it's going to be a Sox L and not a Sox W, but I don't have any reason to leave yet. Maybe like Adara, if you don't feel like good about it, why are you in it? It's not that I don't feel good about it. I think the technicals are good. I just need the other chips to fall where they may. The chips need to fall where they need to fall. The chips actually just need to fall, basically. But so look at this. To me, this is actually a bearish look. We have lower highs. We don't really have lower lows. We're kind of bouncing off the 90 MA and the 5, but we do have lower highs. We rejected that VWAP beautifully. I don't want to take a trade just on a VWAP rejection, but if this is our second VWAP rejection and we have lower highs, I'll take that heat. I do want all that smoke. So that's what I want to be getting here on my Sox L. A couple pennies out of the money. If we poke our head into that 52s, I'm going to be watching out for that. If we break up into 60s decisively above VWAP, we're going to have to call things quits, cut it short there. What other names are people? Oh, IWM also looking for a VWAP rejection, so I'm going to be cognizant of that. Also, it would be, I cannot believe I have not looked at AMD yet today. I'm very sorry to everyone. I should have looked at this AMD earlier. I think I might have looked at it for a second. Oh, AMD. Look at this AMD. We pop into 167.50 with a topping tail candle. Reject. Bounce off VWAP. Oh, 167.50. No. And even lower. Bouncing off this level I actually drew earlier. So that, God, I mean, I love that. I love when you draw levels and they end up working out. Look at that. We bounce here off that 165.25. We come right back up. Then we reject 167.50 again. But you have something way more interesting than this.
Adira, it's just flying. It's flying. 40.75, guys. This is it. Like, this is the kind of thing that we saw in 2022. This is like exactly how it kind of went down here. We're moving dollars at a time now. The tape is really picking up. As you can see, the boys on the floor are yelling because they're trading it. Shout out to them. I know Wayners took that 38 long. Shout out to Wayners. Go Wayners. It's up. We're flying here. 41 bucks. Let's go. 42. Bring it in, 42. It's going to come soon. Let's go, baby. 30% in the clear now. What's the short float on this again?
It's like 21, I thought.
Okay, that's not bad. I mean, it's decent. Yeah, 25.5% Adara. Not too bad at all. 25.49 says at Trade Ideas. Here comes 41.5. There goes 41.5 now. It's 41.64 HOD. Now we're going to halt or fake halt right now. Let's see if we get the halt. Nope, not yet. So the sellers come in there aggressively and push this bad boy back down. Big move up today for the apes, for everybody who loves these meme stocks. I'm very happy we're able to kind of talk about it this week. And here it goes. Forget about the RSI and the MACD for now. You're going to have to keep your eye on price. You don't want to be shorting at these levels. That isn't until you see some weakness. 42 is incoming. It seems inevitable. At this moment. Where is the resistance level here? We should be doing some charting here rather than yelling. So let's find out exactly where.
We can chart and yell.
Yeah, we can do both, Adara. Good call. Let's have a look over here. All right, so we definitely have resistance. Okay, coming soon to a theater near you. You like that? 45 bucks. Thereabouts. We have the topping tail candles that go into 47s, but there will be likely resistance in and around here. That is the level back from June 3rd. It now on the half an hour looks like one hell of a rounded bottom. Is it halted? No, not yet. 42.06. It could halt at this level. Let's see if it's a fake halt here. We're seeing a whole bunch of red coming in on the tape. And we have sixes. It's going to false halt. There it is. Right back up again. I knew it. I could see that one coming. Wow. Did it halt? It's halted. Okay, good. There we go. 42.06. Halt. Let me give you the tap. No tap yet, because New York. That's right. I forgot about that. Yeah, so some of the New York stocks we're not going to get the tap on. Wowzers. That's all I can say about that. That was very exciting to watch. And I'm sorry I had to interrupt you, but I'm sure you understand what.
I totally understand it. I mean, there was literally, we would have gained nothing from me waffling about one level in AMD over and over. Although that level did actually flip to resistance from support in the time we yapped. So that was
it is. And we should also be cognizant of its sister company, AMC, because it's still going, Adara. AMC now, that GME's halted, is probably going to go. And here it is. It's at high day, 584. Let's see if 6 can come in. it's probably inevitable as well, because now that everybody's focusing on this one, we're probably going to get some love in this one as well. So this is going to be a punch and pray kind of thing. I don't think technicals factor all that much with this type of trading. Beautiful look on the day for the memes, and I hope everybody's printing out there, straight up.
Yeah, I mean, Mark the Realtor, 19305. Shout out to 305 in my city, a really old Drake song, and also, you know, Miami, the city. But Mark the Realtor, 305, 199 super chat. Thank you so much for the super chat. We are all here for it. GME and AMC. Movie emoji, popcorn emoji, exclamation point, party, low, like, streamer face. So shout out to you. But you know what? Also, Mark, the Realtor 305, unfortunately, you know, we can't look at GME and GameStop every single second because there are so many stocks moving. But you know what you can do is you can vote in the chat, and then we can look at it on the green screen with Neil and Sean giving their levels on it. You might be asking, how do I do that? How do I go about doing that? Well, we'll tell you. What you do is you go in the chat right now, you go exclamation point join, space, $, whatever ticker you want to look at, GME, AMC, what have you, and then once you have those tickers in there, then you have a shot at having your voice heard. Well, you don't have a shot, you will get your voice heard, and maybe Sean and Neil will be looking at the ticker that you want. GME, NVIDIA, Tesla, Microsoft, AMC, Meta, Amazon, Google, Apple. Any ticker you want to see, you put that in the chat right now. Just do exclamation point, join, space, $, whatever that ticker is, but you only have 10 more minutes left. I cannot believe how quickly today is flying. Time flies when you have fun. I love the markets. Absolutely.
All right, I mean, 570, I'm going to put an order at 571 for AMC. That's a 10-period moving average. I mean, I'm not trying to say that this is going to respect moving averages. I'm trying to figure out some way to get into this without, you know, just punching in willy-nilly at random levels. There does seem to be some action over here at 580. Okay, here we go, all the way back down. Now, there's a tug of war happening here because we couldn't break 580. It looked like there was a hidden buyer at 580, but we're below there right now. Let's see if we make it back down into that 10 period. I'm waiting at that 571, 572. I probably have to move that up though because the 10 period is dynamic and it's also moving up. I think we're going to break 6 here. This candle going green, 596 HOD. We're 10 pennies away from the HOD. Full tilt banana asking for a tap on GME. Sadly, I don't have a tap because it is a NYSE stock. Neil, do you have a tap for GME? It says 4206 on Neil's screen. I don't have one here on my platform. That is not unusual for NYSE stocks from my experience. So we'll see exactly what we get there. But yeah, good move up for GameStop. I'm not exactly sure when it halted. Let me just look super quick to see exactly when to expect this monster. So it did halt here. 138.15. So it should be going live, sorry, at 143.15. Oh, perfect. It's a sell. Oh, thank you for that. That's great. Yeah, there it is. So there you can see the auction live on Neil's screen. That is the, that's the, what's called? The Yeah, okay. In any event, I think we're going to get an GME open in about 30 seconds or so. So we'll wait for that. But right now, AMC is all the hype because it's on the way to $6. At least it feels like, but a bit of a tug of war happening right now between buyers and sellers at these levels. So we'll see how it resumes. And I want to see if AMC will continue to pump in the same way that it just did once GME opens. We'll have to wait and see for that, Adair.
We have to wait in AMC.
Oh. GME's open.
GME's open?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, here we go again. So now GameStonk is up to 41.84, but I mean, it halted at 42.06. We're gonna have to watch. Sorry for the dark pool prints here, guys, but yeah, breaking down into 40s. Let's see if this one can trigger a 20-period touch. It just touched the 20 period on the one and right back up 60 pennies off that, right back into 41.5. This was going to 42 again. Here we go, 42.06 HOD, and there it is, baby, 42.60 now. HOD on this monster. Lots of volatility, baby. It's up 35%. And there it is again, another high of day. Into 43 we go. Lots of strength here. Wow, 76 million shares done so far. This is the area I believe we were talking about that we topped out at not that long ago. Let's have a look. No, we're generally in that vicinity. So 43, is it going to halt here? No. Is it halt? Okay, I don't have eyes on it. No, it's not. It's not. Okay, so we're going to have to keep eyes on this, Adira. I'm tired of talking. What are you looking at?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just, did not mean to keep you talking there. So Microsoft, they got out of this short. Still happy I took it because honestly, the reason that I had for not taking it was going to be, oh, well, I'm worried because my last Microsoft trade didn't go very well, which is, sorry for that voice, but that's not a reason to not take a trade. You have to be taking a trade if you like the trade, right? Microsoft, I had these shorts initially, have not been able to time the short appropriately since, but it's like, I like that 423 rejection. As we had all of this other strength in the market, we were continuing to grind a little bit lower here on Microsoft. So I thought, Adira, take the trade. I didn't risk very much. I risked like 20 pennies. Happy with it, no complaints, and no regrets. But you know what I'm really looking at right now? We know, although I do want to, shout out Sharif, because Sharif did mention, I've been moving away from this a little bit lately because I've been trying to diversify my trading styles, but I still love a good range. I love a good range with all my heart. Call me a Walker, Texas Ranger, because I love these range trades. But look at what we're getting in NVIDIA. And the base of it is that level of support we had in NVIDIA yesterday before that 12th break. That's right, 197 and change. And the top is going to be this 1203. So it's like, Adira, why are you not all up in your NVDL? I don't know. Why am I not up in my NVDL? I don't have an answer for you. So I'm getting involved. We're going to risk here into the bottom of, we're going to risk into 6709. Am I risking very much? Not at all. But I mean, look how clear of a bottom that is. I have no problem with that. Okay, well, in order to risk, we have to get in the trade. So NVDL, if you want to NVD let me in, I'd be greatly appreciative. But yeah, I think the biggest thing I'm learning is you can't be scared to take trades because you lost earlier. You don't, you know what I mean? That there's nothing in that, and there is no shame in trying for something as long as you try it with a risk management strategy in place. Although sometimes risk management strategy can get you out of the Tesla, but you still have to have it because that could have gone totally against me, and then I would have been all bummed out, right? That I didn't have that plan. So you got to go. The market will try to chew you up and spit you out, and you just have to be like, no, market, I'm still here. I'm still making my trades. NVDL, please keep pushing higher. This has been such a fun day. Disney says Pablo with 2 question marks. Let's find out. No, Pablo doesn't have 2 question marks, but Disney does. So let's look at Disney because I want to look at some other tickers for people. Sorry, guys, I'm just so excited today. It's so fun to be in these. Wow, Disney. Woo. Look at these rejections, strong rejections here with these topping tail candles into 101.45, not so fast. Couple times, nice little range here earlier with that 101.50 base. Then we come, sorry, 101.05. Then we come bounce off the 90 MA. We have our last little push, resistance, not quite yet. Then we finally get our gorgeous flat top break here above that 101.40 level. Great look here for DIS, House of Mouse. I'm sure these mice are scrambling around all happy, eating those little pieces of cheese there. Hopefully you can afford some nice Havarti, some Gouda with the cheese you are making from this House of Mouse trade.
What is your favorite cheese?
Oh my God, don't get me started. I love cheese. I literally,
Are you a wine and cheese person?
I'm bad. I like rosé. I'm basic.
Okay,
but
that's not basic.
I can do rosé and cheese. Yeah, I love Parm. Parm is my favorite cheese.
Okay.
But I'm also very partial to a brie. I was just talking to you earlier about brie.
Yes.
Apple and turkey and how good that tastes.
I was very surprised about that. I'm not gonna lie. Ram's loving that. They were chatting up a storm together this morning about putting green apples with turkey on brie. I love it. I love it. I mean, it's fantastic, guys. I'm long AMC at 77. I'm looking for another move up here. We'll see what AMC does. I have a tight stop. Already took a little profit there through the top, but you know what? When it starts kind of slowing down like this is kind of when I get a little bit nervous, but I don't really punch in when everybody else is piling. So if I'm doing that, then I should anticipate a retracement on times that I get in. We'll see what we get here. And we will not get upset no matter what. I'm waiting at 86s and then above that 92s. Let's see if AMC can continue to run up. GME is, I see, what's that? Oh, thank you. Yes, Ram. Thank you for reminding me about that. Guys, if you want to hear what Neil and Sean see on GME and AMC, then you're going to do the following. You're going to go into the chat right now. You're going to hit the following prompt. You're going to hit join, exclamation point, join. Then space and the ticker with the $ above it, just like you see on the screen right there. Make sure there's a space between the word join and the $sign. Otherwise, Streamlabs will not pick up on that. Make sure you're voting every day and make sure you're voting today. Otherwise, you know, GME and AMC may not even make it onto the list. And you guys don't want that, right? So get your vote in every dang day. We already took another beak wetter there on AMC. Let's see if it can run up through the 90s. Again, I'd love a 6 break on this one. Let's go. Maybe we'll hit this one. I like this one. Yes, there we go. Let's go, meme gods. Bring up the memes. Reawaken the memes, baby. They've been dormant for far too long. Now it's coming back down. Now this is trouble here, Darrow. Let's see if that breaks that 75 penny area. I've got 64s as my out. We're risking 11 pennies through the entry to the out. Right now it's coming back down into that 75, but you know, bamboozlement is this stock's middle name, so be ready for any moves up and moves down. Make sure you're voting. I love how I see everybody voting right now in the chat. Get your vote in every day and have your say. Let's move, baby. What do you got?
Shout out to you on that AMC. You know, the thing is with trading, sometimes it's a little bit hard. You're like I did give up some of the gains I made earlier today. I'm still up on the day.
Nice.
Still really proud of what I've done, but I'm not even gonna lie. This is, if not my best day, this is going on my second best day. And it was initially my best day, and then we did give up some of those moves, but it's like, I'm not upset with any of the trades I made since those decisions, right? The one thing I want to talk about, this NVDL management could have been way better. My issue was sometimes things just run way too fast. I still have issues with setting stops. I need to figure out how to set stops properly, because that was my issue, is it did not stop properly. I mean, to be fair, and that's why sometimes I think having a tight risk management works for me, because if it doesn't work out, I'm still not going to lose too much. But NVIDIA fell like crazy. NVD fell like crazy. I'm still up on this name. I did give up some of those earlier gains though, but I'm not going to cry over spilt shares, because I'm still proud of what I did, still proud of the trades I took. And that's the biggest thing, is I think it's about trying to decipher and discern between, I'm trying to find a way to word this, to discern between, like, obviously you don't want to trade for profit and loss, you want to trade for trades you like, but you also want to maintain your profit, right? So I think trying to discern between those two things is something I absolutely want to work on a little bit more, because I do want to make some profit, you know what I mean? I'm not going to lie, this has been a good trading week for me. I feel like I made some breakthroughs over the last couple weeks. I want to keep that going. And again, I really want to thank the community here in this chat for that. I appreciate what everyone has to say in the chat. I know my style is a little bit funky. I do not stay in moves for very long. I have a certain way I trade, but I really do appreciate everyone in the chat sharing their thoughts, sharing their POV. Sometimes you have to try things to figure out if they work or do not work for you. But are you still hanging out with the 8s?
I took off because it did break through my level, so that's the end of that trade for me. I'm going to see where it holds up. 540 is where the volume-weighted average price is. Keep an eye on AMC and GME. They're moving in tandem, so I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm not going to short it. You don't have to borrow shorts when you're in the sim, so I can just short it, but I'm not going to do that right now. I want to see if it's still strong, possibly to the high side at that volume-weighted average price. So I'm going to wait on there. But this is the one that I've really had the best success with today, is Hood. It made its way up all the way to 23.25. I only had one more out on it, though. That's why I didn't wet my beak there. But it looks like it's coming back down into 23. I want to see what it does at 23. So if this one holds up at 23, I'll definitely add a little bit more for that move back up. But, you know, I'm not saying Hood is going to be connected to these meme names, but we all know there's an overlap. There's a story between them, obviously. So let's see if Hood can get any sort of parabolic movement behind itself here. Let's go back to AMC, because we did bounce off that $0.50 area. It looks like people were buying at the 550s, but you're not getting that same type of bottoming tail candle on GME. That's because it's halted to the downside. GME now halted 40.18. It's still up 27.27%, but it is halted at 40.18. And sadly, I do not have a tap on it because it is a NYSE name. So I will not be able to give you the theoretical auction price on GME, so we'll have to wait there. Eyes on AMC though, guys. Eyes on AMC. When one is halted, the other traders could move to the other one. So let's go ahead and see if we can risk 7 pennies here on this name for a 10-period defend. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to put it at 49. So then we'll put it into that and see if we can get something there. All right, already moving up a skosh. Let's put in our orders at different levels to see if we can capitalize on the momentum. And then we'll put some at the $0.75 as well. Let's see if the shorts are going to start piling in now, or whether the longs can take advantage of the temporary halt in momentum of GME to pile into AMC. Let's find out.
Yeah, so I did get back in a trade. I got into this NVDS. I'm trying to be cognizant of not taking trades just to take trades, because I do think there was a little bit of that for me earlier, because I think it's hard because you want to make sure you're taking trades while you're on the show, right? And then I think sometimes I find maybe I'm slipping into taking trades I don't necessarily love, which is something I want to work on and, you know, journal about, maybe figure out how I feel about that. This NVDS trade, though, I really like. Why? Well, look at, okay, as I say that, maybe not. But look at this NVIDIA. We were hitting into that area of resistance. I was like, Adara, try this. You might like it. It's a pretty small position. If we dip any lower here, I'm going to have to get out. But I really, again, like, you owe it to yourself to try taking things. And as I say that, we dip lower. So we're going to have to be getting out of this NVDS for a little bit of an NVDL there. Not bad. Again, still up on these names, still up on the day. And I need to trade P&L less, because it's like you learn from every trade you take, win or lose. And it's funny that the trade I learned the most from was a trade where I kind of did nothing, which is going to be this Tesla. I set my stop at an area, and you have to accept that, hey, maybe it's okay that stop didn't go, because that allowed me to get involved in Lulu, that NVDL breakout. There's so many opportunities that you get. When one door closes, the window opens. And unfortunately, your window to vote has closed for today. You're not going to see that period at the green screen, but you know, tomorrow you'll get a whole new window to vote.
Absolutely.
To see the mustachioed man to my right. I really like saying that.
I know. We're going to be with the OB. We're going to miss you on the show, obviously. We're going to miss you on Monday as well. But you're going to get some well-needed R&R, because I know for a fact you haven't had a vacation since you got here. So, and she's the hardest working person here. I think you're number 2 after Neil. You get in the morning, and you're like one of the latest people that leaves. Adara is... Oh, really? Who? Neil? Fabian? The Chilean Nightmare is not here tomorrow? This place is going to fall apart.
It'll become it'll become a daydream. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. Fabian, I hope you enjoy your vacation.
Yes, Fabian.
As well. I was just making a silly pun. But yeah, shout out to Fabian. I didn't know you were off Monday as well, so Fabian and I apparently having matching vacations. Hope you enjoy your vacay.
All right, I'm just going to send it to you for one quick sec to use the bathroom before I set up on the green screen.
Yeah. Thank you so much to Sharif for that. This has been such a fun day, guys. Bora out saying the Stash Nation, baby. Yeah, instead of like Bachelor Nation, it's like Statchler Nation. I don't know. But yeah, shout out to Sharif and his now famous mustache. So really fun time. Let's take a look at some of these other names. Lululemon, what a move down here. I'm kind of upset I didn't miss the opportunity to go short this name. I will say, if you're looking at Lulu, again, this is not advice, this is my take on the chart. We're coming to a really interesting level here, this 324.50. That was a huge resistance support flip earlier that I tried to play that ended up working out here. So I would say, watch out for Lulu, 324.50. I think things could get kind of spicy here. M. Mason, yeah, I know I talked pretty quickly there. I like to talk as quickly as how these markets move, so I want to be part of that. Gatorman saying, Amazon says, don't leave me out. Oh, yeah, let's take a look at that Amazon. This is what I should have been doing. I'm like messing around in NVDL and NVDS, and Amazon's like, Adara, I'm just still in my move to the upside that you talked about, but okay, that's fine. This one continuing to push to the upside. GME down, GME open. Some comments here on GME. Let's see how the games are going on GameStop. This is a hard look on a chart for me. We did have this little bullish push here below into 39s, but we are hanging out around the 90 ME. I hope for everyone's sake in the long that the games don't stop for you guys. I really do wish everyone's, I hope everyone prints. And shout out to Wayne in the back who's like through.
Wayner, yeah, I just told him right now. I'm like, great trade, Wayne. The dude, I was walking by. I heard him punch long at 38. This thing made it up into 44. Shout out to Wayners. You got to put on the trades if you want to make the money. And the dude did it back there. He's sitting there all the time. His hands like this, and he's all like, you know, Wayners style. But anyway, guys, I wet my beak a couple of times right now on AMC. On the way up, the stop is in place. If it breaks 50, that's going to be the end of the story. I've given it 10 pennies worth of a spread on the stop because this thing's a monster. It could absolutely run your stop, no problem. Hopefully everybody prints. I'm going to send it to Adara now. I will see you guys tomorrow. I will be with Obi. It will be Obi and I on tomorrow and on Monday. So make sure to join us tomorrow.
Yeah, please join Obi and Adara. Wow. Wow, I'm tired. Obi and Sharif, who are going to be on tomorrow and Monday. I want to shout out Obi again. Thank you so much for covering for me. Much appreciated. Also, I did just get in and out quickly of the sock sell. I saw this continued grind to the upside. We had a lot of chop and churn. I said, let's try to play that. Sock sell was like, I don't think so. So it's all good. But yeah, in all seriousness, like I said, I do want to work after my vacation, hopefully get some R&R. I want to do some reflection on some trades, and I definitely want to come back and try to figure out the overtrading thing. I do think, it's hard because you want to make sure you're making trades while you're on the desk, but you also don't want to be getting involved in things that don't make sense for you, right? That being said, I'm really proud to say 6 positive names, 2 negative names, one of them Tesla, the other one this SOXL. So pretty proud of what I did here. I just need to work on making those losses a little bit smaller and not crowding into trades that don't make sense. G&E Day, congrats to Kitty Nation, says Finch Jane. Yeah, I think certainly the kittens are pleased as punch. Roaring Kitty is certainly roaring to the upside. The bears were growling, and then the bull said, no, I don't think so. Basically flat on the day for the Qs, slightly down in the day for the SPY. Oh, man. If the SPY bounces, we got our last share pushback of the day. If the SPY bounces off that 534 area, this is going to be something else. A little bit sad I'm not taking that trade, but congrats to anyone who does. Love this shop and churn here in these markets. I'm so happy to be here, guys. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Thanks again. Or sorry, not weekend. Hope you guys have a great rest of the week. Thank you so much to Obi for taking over for me on Friday and Monday. Cannot wait to see you guys on Tuesday for a post-split NVIDIA. Same bad time, same bad channel with Sharif and Obi tomorrow. Let's see Sharif at the big desk. Oh, screen.
Welcome to the segment where you choose what we talk about every day from 2 to 2:30. You get to have your say. You get to vote every day from 11